all wrong. Yo, we got it going on. This for the culture. Yeah. Hey, yo, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. Yeah. We hit it right, all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my views. I'm blowing up like a bomb. Introduce you to God. I'm teaching essentials, I'm operating at my peak, it's potential. Elijah, he told me to keep it all simple. Through these instrumentals, I speak to your mental. Red. Back in the booth, rap to the youth, they was lacking the truth. Back to the seas, they was lacking the roots. Smoked all the trees and they snacking on fruits. Bed, attached to my roof, detached to the roof on the back of the coupe. Back from the future, I'm back in the red and the blue, yeah, I'm back on my snoot. Niggas be biting, they cracking, they tracking, they niggas be capping, they lacking it. Put a toe tag on the back of they boot. Battle with nukes, I'm attacking they troops. I wrote these bars in Sumerian text. The legends of Mu, I'm Sumerian sets. It was written in Targaryen text. Came to conquer all my variants. Yeah, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. Yeah. We hit it right, all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my views. I'm blowing up like a bomb. Introduce you to God. Back on the mic, was dead on my back, now I'm back on my life. Came back from the future, went back to it twice. When I rose out the grave, they said that dude is Christ. I'ma shine like a star, I'ma twinkle, twinkle as I light up the sky. The whole world was watching on the night I arrived. The Messiah's here, I guess it's finally time. I swear that I hear every prayer that you say. I was there every day, I was scared everything in the world.
Chat, what the hell? Really? Whenever they got a pillar at the Vatican. Pope Pablo, where you at?
You either fight or run. Life a game, I feel like I won. Hey, yo, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. We hit it right, all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my views. I'm blowing up like a bomb. Introduce you to God.
From the quantum shadows, a traveler emerges. Fly-Sinet, the multi-dimensional hacker, living his hero's journey. He joins the Pantheon at AI Masters Workshop, November 1st and 2nd. Hosted by 363 Empire, with Red Pillar and Seven Bomar. Tickets, lock yours in, now.
This is the law of mental command. It is the understanding that you are not a victim of your thoughts, but a commander of them.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Peace, family. Peace to you and yours. Peace to you and yours. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Wisdom Wednesdays. All right, we are here for Wisdom Wednesdays. You are now rocking with the best, ladies and gentlemen. This is your brother Red Pillar in the building, and I am joined by my special guest, none other than Hitsayu Aku in the building. Peace to the God.
Live and direct from the mothership that not gonna be on some other shit. Hitsayu Aku, sovereign identity architect at your service. Orewa kakugachi guandayo. Translation: I'm built different. Let's go.
Peace to the God, man. What's good with you, man? What's good with you? Welcome back to the platform.
Blessing to. I was about to say it's a blessing to be back on the platform, you know what I'm saying, after so many classic builds, you know what I'm saying, just to circle the block and, you know, to see all the developments since we actually did the first meme Martyr, you know, American Gods, to see everything play out has been amazing. So we back at it to chop it up again. But outside of that, been good. Substack's been flowing. I just dropped 7 cybernetic prophecies for the digital economy in 2026. Ooh. I just dropped the last one today. Please.
Oh, nah. Are you cooking? I've been seeing the work that you've been putting on Substack, and I definitely have to commend you. You know what I mean? Like, that's definitely putting in work. You know, you filling up that blog. The pen is going crazy and whatnot. So yeah, salute to you and salute to all of the KTLians that have
Facts.
signed up to Win Agency. You signed up to KTL, to my Substack, and you've been signing up to Hit Sayu Substack. So I want to give a shout out to everybody that is supporting the literature and the blogs and whatnot.
Let me give an extra shout out to Win Agency. She's actually in my cohort right now working with me.
Is that right?
Super amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Nah,
She's out in
that's scary.
you already dog. Trust me when I say, bro, the synchronicity is beautiful. I'm pretty sure that the link was made between like the KTL platform and my platform, and that's where she kind of found me at. But
Right.
definitely doing amazing work. She is probably one of the last great real hip hop journalists that's left. So I definitely want y'all to go support Win Agency on Substack, and it's literally spelled just like that, Win Agency. So y'all check her out too. Like super great work.
Have on the channel soon.
You know what's crazy? I was about to say, Ayo Red, I know exactly who you need to get on the show to have a real hip hop conversation. Facts.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. But family, please definitely check out Substack. This is where a lot of the sovereign creators are. You see what I'm saying? You're going to find a lot of great information, a lot of great reads, just a lot of great content in general. Even if you're not necessarily, I know Smoke Through the Mask is fucking hilarious, but you know, got to maintain the air of mystery. I knew someone was gonna say it. Shout outs to Red October, yo. Shout outs to the bro. But yeah, definitely make sure y'all are tapping in with all of the KTL events that we got going on. We have the Winter Solstice event, Ross Ben, Ra Aku. We got a Crypto Block Bully. We got Spin City. We got Slice. It's a whole KTL all-star constellation in there, bit. All right. We got the end of the year celebration, you know what I'm saying? Closing out this 2025 fiscal year. Make sure y'all tap in with that. And as always, the Imaginarium is around. I just want to make sure I do my little bit of marketing so that way everybody knows. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Value is being delivered here. Don't sleep.
Right. A lot, like the boys outside say, a lot. They got a lot of shit going on. You know what I mean?
Big time.
Yeah, we definitely are cooking for the end of this year, the end of this fiscal. You know what I mean? We're gonna end this thing the way that we started it. We started it with a bang. You know, we started it on a good foot. So it's only right that we take this thing to the finish line. In a few days, 2 days, it is going to be day 1 of our winter strong end. In 2 days, y'all, right? And it just so happens to land on the same day that the third eye atlas is going to be in perfect alignment with the solar system. Now, I don't anticipate any type of, you know, Hollywood theatrics and things of that nature, because I don't live in that type of reality when it comes to intelligent life forms. Keyword intelligent. That is not how they are going to make first contact. Okay. Whatever contact that this life form intends to make, it will be done through the biomolecular cell level, right? We're going to be hit with neutrinos, or the equivalent of what the sun hits us with, in the form of neutrinos that will begin to activate our electromagnetic field and things of that nature. So, by a show of hands from the family in the chat, how many people are beginning to feel the subtle signs that something is taking place from a cellular level, right? The fatigue that you may be feeling, or what they would call the brain fog, or just being completely thrown off is a result of the change taking place. Because if anything, if there's a change taking place, then you as the vehicle are going to begin to feel it somewhat. You know, the sleep is off, their circadian rhythm might be off. When fatigue is setting in, that may mean because these cells are beginning to switch over. Something is coming online. I believe that the 12th strand DNA is beginning to activate.
Factual. Factual. A matter of fact, to double down on what you just said,
Yeah.
everybody in the chat's talking about their dreams going crazy. I bet. Not even a couple days ago, I seen Dr. Lila Africa in a dream. Now,
What?
mind you, swear down the master,
The
all the
old
master teachers are
Jizzle,
coming back.
the
Mind you, while he was alive, I wasn't really into his knowledge base like that, but I knew about him, and because everybody was always talking about him, and I read a couple
Right.
chapters of Nutricide, right?
Right.
So the dream was kind of wild because it was like he was doing one of those classic small room lectures.
Right.
And it was almost like I was helping him set up his shit. Someone came in and misidentified him. And I was like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? That's Dr. Lila Africa. What do you mean? And as soon as I said that, I was like, wait, that's Dr. Lila Africa. The fuck am I talking about? Like, so yeah, just so you know, like, yeah, it's coming back online. And the reason why Dr. Lila Africa is so important is because he was on the health side of things. You see what I'm saying? He was dealing with the body. He's like, and really getting into the science of it. A contemporary to Sabi and like the precursor to what we see KT doing. You see what I'm saying? So
right.
Understand what Red is saying is accurate as fuck. It's coming through the cells. It's coming through the DNA. It's coming through the body.
Yes. Yes. Interestingly enough, as I refresh myself on Stranger Things throughout the series, I binged on season 2 all the way up to 5. And each season was given a new theme, right? The 4th season was talking more about, no, the 3rd season was talking about the blob, right?
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 was talking about the mind frayer and whatnot, the hive mind. So this hive mind, so I was comparing what I was watching on the series to what I'm watching in real life taking place. So I'm like, there's this hive mind effect where, like, when Will was like, yo, he's here, like, you know, Will was feeling the presence of either the darkness or he was feeling the presence of something that was omnipotent. You know what I mean? There's a feeling that a lot of people are beginning to feel, not just intuitively or in their they're not just feeling it in their bones, they're feeling this in their spirit and in their soul, that something is rising up. Okay. And I just want to invoke, and I also want to give I also want to say shout out to Black Magic 363. Okay, Father Rich. I don't know if he made the announcement on his show tonight, but on Friday, the day 1 of the conference, ladies and gentlemen, at Spin City headquarters in Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be conducting a bonfire. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on 13 acres. I put the video up on his channel today. It was about 20 minutes where I showed everybody the estates. It's one thing to talk about it, so I wanted y'all to see it because I can't even paint the picture. It's something that you have to experience IRL. But yeah, we're gonna do a bonfire, so we're going to really be in ritual mode. We'll have the cigars, we'll have everything, we'll have the music. We're just gonna be tapping in. We're not even going to, we're just gonna flow with it. But if on the 19th something were to happen, I wanted to be amongst the X-Men. I wanted to be amongst the mutants and whatnot. So whenever we receive that download, it will be received as the collective. I don't want the ancestors to look around. They all right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the same way that we could see the stars in the skies, don't think that the ones in the skies can't see the stars on the ground. It's as above, so below. Y'all will be able to experience what we're doing via satellite. We are offering live stream. We got professional cameraman that will be on deck. So, and we will be zooming our workshop. Okay. Our workshop is gonna have, the workshop is gonna be small, it's gonna be intimate. We have 44 tickets, we're almost sold out. But it's really for the global audience. We just want y'all to get that close feeling. We're not in somebody's establishment, we're in Spin City headquarters, and Spin City came to the ATL, and now he's sitting on 13 acres. I, I'm biased. I might be capping because that's my guy, but I'll let somebody else say it. You feel me? Because I just want y'all. I have no reason to come up here and cap. I have no reason to come up here and pretend. I have no reason to come up here and, you know what I mean? That's the disclaimer, because it's the internet and everybody don't know me and whatnot. But yes, this young man is sitting on 13 acres and it's growing by the day, right? So he's going to be introducing people from our network to his new network of landowners and people people who do trust and all type of things, acre boy type of activities.
Only lands, nigga, only lands.
And I really am going to be building on Only Lands this strong in. While on Only Lands, my last name is More Land. That's my government. So in this post 50 journey that I'm on, this new hero's journey, because I have to be honest, that is that when you hit 50, that should be the ending of like hero's journey episode 1 type shit, like, you know what I mean? We should at least cap it as something. They got us running like, I mean they got us running with Usain Bolt legs for what, 70 years? How long is one nigga's marathon? Could we clip it at 50?
Yeah.
Could that be book 1? You know what I'm saying? So on book 2 was on, because Sabi had book 1 and 2. When the documentary, I'm sure that there'll be more than one, but the documentary should be book 1, right? Sabi in the Nation of Islam. Sabi at 240 pounds. Sabi when he was robbing. Sabi with Detroit Red in the Nation of Islam. Sabi when they was hitting licks. Sabi when he was blind and impotent and eating pork. And then there's the new Sabi 2.0. That's Alfredo Bowman. And then there was Sabi, right? The archetype, the brand, the character, the persona, the alter ego, right? The quote unquote, the Superman to his Clark Kent. We, as average people who have come here to not be regular and to not live out just a Clark Kent reality and whatnot, we built this platform and we've helped to build others, and we converge with others in order to even have a stage so brothers and sisters could live out that quote unquote hero's journey, where you go from Clark Kent to Superman, or from Peter Parker to quote unquote Spider-Man. That is the goal over here. We are quote unquote Professor X in Xavier University, waking up the mutants and preparing the mutants to mutate. So there's no, I have no doubt. There's no doubt whatsoever in my mind that people all around the world are not literally waking up right now, coming online, activating, and the governments around the world are nervous. They're on red alert. Okay. It's code red. It's code red.
Big time.
And big time. The United States Armada, its military, quote unquote, forces alongside NASA and other foreign governments, are on their highest alert right now, leading up to the day that we'll start our first day of festivities. You know what I'm saying? If y'all are ready to get your tickets for Sunday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you could pick any day. There's no obligation because it could be sensory overload. But let me explain to you briefly what the solstice is. The solstice for the winter, right, is the time for the alchemists to begin to alchemize. The solstice for the winter, unlike the solstice for the spring is when you pop out. Spring is when you spring forward. Spring is when you come from out of the darkness, from out of the hibernation. Winter solstice is when you go into the hibernation. It's when you go into the underworld. It's when you go into the darkness and whatnot. Right? That's when the snake sheds its skin. That's when the bears go to sleep and whatnot. You feel me? That's when that's when you disappear and you get in the lab and you begin to cook. That's when you go and rebrand. That's when you go and change everything and you begin to transform. That's when you go on your spirit quest. That's when you detox. Remember, in the winter solstice, what would we do, right? All across multiple cultures, they would do what? They would begin to clean you out, right? You have to take the castor oil and things of that nature. You know, people deworm, people declutter, people detox. This is that time, ladies and gentlemen, right? It's very important that you get your vitamin D by all means, right? Juicers, cold press, not this juice in the store, because it's not real juice. It has nothing inside of it. You want to get cold press, you want to get a juicer, and you want to go to whatever farmer's market or whatever you could get raw fruits and whatever, and you want to combine multiple fruits and you want to juice, okay? And you want to get that vitamin D, you want to get that iron, you want to stay optimum, but you want to go through that cleansing, which is going to bring about that change, because the change is going to come from within before it comes from without. And I don't want to be all preachy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the professionals on the show so they could lay out the science. So you could go and take the science and you could go and study it and you could go apply it.
That's all it is. Got to get that science going. For my smokers, I would definitely say get you some mullein. You see what I'm saying? Make you some nice mullein tea. Clean up your lungs a little bit. Be able to breathe in some of this new alien air. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a fact. I want to say congratulations on your 4-week course. Let me put that QR code up. You definitely came through. All of the students, they were pleasantly pleased by your demonstration. You got standing ovation. You know, I was receiving emails of people that wanted to extend it. Okay. But I told them part 2, season 2 is coming. Cycle 2 is on the way. Yeah, cycle 2. We don't want to stretch the brother out. He did the way that you ended it, the way that you capped it. It was like, yeah, I don't want to pull the thread out of that Coogee sweater. You tied that up real nice. You know,
actually, that's one of the things that I definitely want to work on as we get just a little more into the flow of it, is like creating that community extension, like an alumni type program for all of them, so that way they can continue to work with each other, build with each other. I'm sure that in that room of like 33 some people,
right,
at least 5 of them have businesses where they could, you know what I'm saying, horizontally integrate or vertically integrate with one another and be able to make actual enterprises that go beyond just, you know what I'm saying, just a single household benefiting off a good idea or the execution of a good idea. So definitely want to make sure I do believe this is the replay that we promoting right now. So just tap in, y'all. It's 4 weeks. It's self-paced. You're gonna get all the auxiliary materials that you need. So it's not even just self-paced. I watch videos and I'm staring at the screen. It's interactive. You got lots of shit to do. Trust me, the emails that I'm getting,
Right.
this a
Real
life-changing process, y'all.
That's right. Real quick, because even for the replay or for tonight, there's some people in the audience who are just literally meeting you for the first time. You know, they have no idea what they're about to witness and, you know, be a part of. Break it down about what this 4-week class was about, this ontology. Break it down, and then I'm going to play our commercial, and then we're going to go into our thing. Yeah.
Got you. So the primal ontological loop, I will be changing the name soon to the sovereign creator system, right? Because what the primal ontological loop is, it is the oldest system of human expression. This is how we make meaning. You see what I'm saying? So just like the hero's journey is an archetype that we see across all of these melanated cultures, this is the hidden loop behind all of human expression, how we make meaning, how we add power to symbols. You see what I'm saying? So this is all about symbolic intelligence. So what we're doing here is we're taking this ancient system and we're applying it to the modern branding space, which is very much based on all of these ancient ancestral indigenous technologies. And I really want y'all to understand this more than anything. Branding is one of humanity's oldest practices. It's as old as fire. It's as old as language. It's as old as myth. You, as a melanated being, have every right to be able to build a business and present yourself to the world in the way that makes sense to you. And this is a system that's going to give you a clear step-by-step path to accomplishing that. 4 simple steps. We start with the tool. That is your functional utility. What is it that you already do? What are your skills, your talents, your experience, the systems, frameworks that you've used to solve problems in your own life? Those are the tools that we're going to then center your business around, center your brand around, because you've already proven utility in that space. All right. Once we have the tool, we move into expression. How do we want that tool to feel when we use it? How do we want it to look? How do we want it to sound? This is the sensory layer of it, right? So we can use a hammer for construction, and that's one way to express the use of a hammer. You could use a hammer to bop somebody over the head. That's another way to express it. Again, how do you want that tool to feel? And then as you have this tool and you consistently express yourself with that tool over time, you enter stage 3, which is the crystallization of an identity. This is when your brand has real solidity. This is when you know who you are and you're able to present that to the world, to the marketplace. What I call the bazaar, this hyper real ontological marketplace, because the internet made this shit weird. Don't you ever forget it, right? When you're able to go into a space that's oversaturated with machines and mediocrity, when you're able to go into that space and present yourself in such a way where not only does your signal cut through all the static, but your signal is worth $5,000 a pop, $10,000 a pop, because you have built your identity on what you can do, and you've built a level of expression around what you can do that calls out directly to the audience that you want to talk to.
Right.
Then you enter stage 4, meaning. This is where we now solidify the impact, the visions, the vows of what we are here to do and the world we're here to create through our existence. This is when you actually start to matter in the world. This is how you become real. That's why it's the primal ontological loop. Ontology is about beingness. It's about identity. So how do you gain an identity in one of the weirdest, most fucked up, most memeified, most gamified marketplaces that has ever existed ever? This is how. Tool, expression, identity, meaning, and that flows right back to your tools. Because once you start to build up a meaning in your audience, you start to realize that your mission is way bigger than just making a couple bucks and being lit on Twitter.
Man. Damn. Hold on. Daytime. This commercial real quick, ladies and gentlemen, for the workshop. All right, the replay of the workshop. We have that available for the family. Make sure y'all go ahead and tap in. Yeah, let's play this commercial and then we'll be right back.
The old vanguard taught performance, polish, persona, profit. But beneath every brand, there's a being waiting to remember its name.
You were never meant to market yourself. You were meant to mythologize yourself.
This isn't a course, it's a conjuring. 4 weeks.
You were never meant to market yourself.
You were never meant to market yourself. You were meant to mythologize yourself. You were never meant to market yourself. You were meant to mythologize yourself.
The primal ontological loop is the hidden architecture of being, tool, expression, identity, meaning, the 4 chambers where all sovereign brands are born.
The algorithm was never neutral. It's a digital parasite feeding on human cognition itself.
A tool is intention made tangible. Expression is how that intention breathes. Identity is the rhythm that gathers when your tools strike true. And meaning is the vow behind it all and the way it impacts the world. Branding isn't corporate cosplay, it's ontology in drag, the ritual through which your myth takes form. IRL. We live in the age of ghost signals, where creators burn bright but unseen, mimicking trends instead of transmitting substance. The loop is how you rebuild your mythic infrastructure, how you remember what your signal sounds like before the distortions.
Pulsing light is the breath of the cosmos. The universe reveals its true form not in chaos, but in the sacred geometry of being.
This isn't a course, it's a conjuring. 4 weeks, 4 gates. Co-hosted with KTL Media, you'll forge the tool, embody the expression, stabilize the identity, and anchor the meaning. The primal pivot begins here. Enter the loop, become the myth.
This isn't a course, it's a conjuring. 4 weeks, 4 gates. The primal ontological loop is the hidden architecture of being. Tool.
There you have it. There you have it.
There you go.
There you
There
go.
you go.
It has a better understanding now. So make sure y'all tap in. You're gonna benefit from that. You can ask the alumni, the KTLians who took the class. They'll let you know its worth. So let's get into it, y'all. Tonight's show is called Meme Martyr 2.0 American Psycho.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. By show of hands,
Don
how many
DeMarco.
people? Don DeMarco. How many people in the audience had the privilege of seeing that movie when it was either in movie theaters or when it hit that's when it got the cult classic status, when it hit the VHS DVD market. That is definitely a cult classic. It tells a compelling story about not the American Psycho in a sense, but it's a depiction of what we call the dark tetrad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the dark triad. It's a personality trait that many CEOs on Wall Street and the Fortune 500 companies share with both psychopaths and most serial killers, right? They all have some of the same personalities. And in this movie called American Psycho, which was the acting debut of Batman's very own Christian Bale, they highlighted the dark psychology of the Wall Street elite in the 80s and whatnot. Fast forward to where we are today, and we could just wake up and not look too far. If you were low on chips, you didn't have to even go and watch the movie, because there's an actual movie playing out on Fox 5 television, CNN, MSNBC, and most of the quote unquote social media platforms like X, Facebook, Twitter, aka X, and Instagram, and others like TikTok, right? And the American Psychos that we see these days, it's not just one of them. It happens to be damn near everyone in government, right? So when I say psycho, I want someone to go and look up what the dark tetrad personality is, right? So we can have an understanding of the diagnosis, right? The psychological diagnosis of behaviors, actions. So we could say, oh yeah, that person fits that trait to the T. So we know what we're looking at, right?
What's the fourth one? I know it's psychopathy,
Machiavellianism,
sociopathy, Machiavellianism,
and narcissism.
There we go. That's the last one. I bet.
So it's narcissism, psychopathy,
sociopathy,
and Machiavellianism. So the book that they had everybody reading, called 48 Laws of Power, that was authored by Robert Greene, was giving people a perspective of how to function through the dark tetrads. That's a dark tetrad book. You know what I mean?
He based all of that on Machiavellian.
That's why I was so Romanistic in its depictions. When you were reading all of the laws, it was giving you from a Roman's perspective, right? And a Machiavellian perspective. So a lot of people began to conform in the hood after they began to pick up the 48 Laws of Power. You would say that, yeah, people were reading it to strategize and move and whatnot and move wisely. However, there began to become a rise in dark tetrad, Machiavellian, like sociopath behavior, okay, where people were snaking and backdooring and being very quote unquote Romanistic towards one another, when before they were more brotherly. You know what I mean? They were following a different kind of code. The code that was laid out before Robert Greene was initiating people. People were following Mao's Red Book. They were following the Panthers literature and whatnot. And none of the Panthers literature was giving you a Romanistic mentality. They were not giving you a win in Rome, dog eat dogs, because 48 Laws of Power is capitalism, right? Dog eat dog. It's an ideologue. It's an ideology. He's giving you 48 laws of it. So who qualified them to give you where did these 48 laws come from? You know what I'm saying? Where was it even tried out before to qualify it? Because he's giving you scattered stories from all over the timeline of white men that conquered your people.
There we go.
Europeans, of Nordics, of Euro Asians and whatnot, who are accredited for slaying, not just conquering your people, genocide. I'm talking about slaying, like Gaza type stuff to our people, right? So I don't know about that book.
Yeah, don't really know, because all right, if we're saying 48 Laws of Power, laws where and power defined by who, and then it becomes, oh, these are the 48 laws of power. If you want power within this white supremacy system, this is how you're gonna have to play the game if you want to win playing with us. You see what I'm saying?
Psycho. Right.
You got to be an American psycho to play with the psychos.
Right. So it's not a slight, it's not a negative in a sense. It's a manual and it's a guide to this new quote unquote paradigm where it is the new Rome. And these are Romans, and these are Germans.
There you go.
And these are stormtroopers. You feel me?
And you might need to know how to move in a room full of vultures for
and this is the room full of vultures, right? These are crusaders and these are conquistadors. You feel me? They're crypto, but as the world turns and as the days go by, it begins to shed its skin day by day. The mask begins to fall day by day by day, even to the point of today, right? Where I saw a clip where Donald Trump blatantly, he blatantly said we're going into Venezuela for the oil because the Biden administration did bad contracts and they don't respect us. We're going to take our oil. We're going to take that's their oil. And he said we're going to take it. That's what he said on live television with a straight face.
No, it's literally declared war in front of all of us without any Congress approval or none of that shit.
So it travels all the way up to this point, right? Then, in the midst of all of that, they're carrying out assassinations, right, against MIT professors, right? I'm talking about top of the big dogs,
right?
They went into Brown University, which is the equivalent. This is a sister school to MIT. This is a sister school to Harvard, right? They are on the same levels, okay? And they carried out what you've been seeing them carry out. So while they went ahead and trapped everybody's energy with the Kirkification, right? Over all of these months, then they dropped the files, right? They dropped the whole cache of all of the new Epstein pictures, along with some other stuff, but that's even part of the ritual. That's even when they dropping stuff. Just think about a wizard in front of a cauldron, and he's just dropping shit inside of that pot. Just imagine the internet as a big pot, and they got like, they got like a Crowley, quote unquote, a Crowley Ultron, and they'll just drop shit in that pot. So Candace and AmEriKKAn, yeah, that was a big drop in the cauldron, because that was them charging up all that energy of the people all of that time. Then they tapped it off with blood rituals. So the Bondi Beach with the Brown University the same day with the bloodletting, with everybody talking about America and Bandis Owens. That was the ritual right there. That was the culmination that started on September 1st and it ended on that day. Okay, that's how they capped off whatever they capped off, and they're gonna take that energy and go into Venezuela with that.
Facts.
Because what took place with this whole Kirkification, memification, memetic, quote unquote, psyops grand ritual is the immortalization, the quote unquote, the sainthood of that dude with that sister, you know what I mean, keeping his name not just alive, right? She immortalized them, she sanitized them, she lionized them, she did to him what I've said before that only a black woman can do. She stamped him. Think about it.
Are white people passing the Turing test? Oh shit. Shit.
Let's really just think about this. There's 4 types of people on this planet: black woman, black man, white woman, white man, and on the chessboard in the equation.
Yeah.
Black men could brand something and they could stamp it, rightfully so. If they say something is hot, people go with it, But if our women don't approve of it, if it didn't get co-signed, right? If it didn't get approved, right? If they don't choose as a result of that, then it really didn't hit. It didn't go through.
There you go.
Think it did, but it didn't go through, right? It's not branded. So we brand, but we're not the branders of things. We don't pop things off. So when an artist starts singing to women, or they start rapping to women, or they cater to the divine feminine, what do women do to them? They brand them. They elevate them. They pedestal them. They uplift them. They certify them. They sign them to the label. They make them good in the eyes of the universe. You understand? Their counterparts, and I don't mean to be facetious, I'm just keeping it 1,000. Their counterparts, they don't have the power to do that naturally for the world, that is, right? Yep. They do it for their own, of course. Why wouldn't they? They're their mamas. They can uplift their own, but they can't uplift us. And they can't uplift the other ones around the world the way that ours can. Black woman brands the everything. She's the one who, if she stamps you, you're stamped. She will absolve you of your sins. She will wash you. She will clean you. And she will put you on a motherfucking pedestal. And she will statue you. Facts. She's the queen on the chessboard. So Candace has been doing a grand ritual, because what took place is that she solidified. The only thing that came out of that is that everybody forgot about who Charlie Kirk was, what he said about what he was saying about the people, the God's chosen people, right? He wasn't up there going on campus tour saying the black man is God. He wasn't on some Conway the Machine type of talk. He wasn't getting up there and professing our power. He wasn't getting up there and saying, I've been doing my research, and these people that the Bible speak of, I think that those are the Negroes in Chicago that I'm amongst. I think Ye, who's my favorite rapper, is the Christ, right? And his people are the chosen one. I agree to that. Even as an evangelical, I'm going against everything that these people, if he wasn't saying that, then he's not saying anything. So anything that he says prior to that is a lie and is going against the truth. So why are we even considering this person as a person of interest, right? That's how powerful a psyop is. People are literally inside of a psyop and they don't even realize who they're even considering. They don't even realize who they're, because she rocked you to sleep and made you care for this man. She made you. She made you. He's a part of the whole zeitgeist now, not because of his wife. Because if his wife got out there the next day and said Shabbat Shalom and went on Shabbat Shalom and went on a World Salad tour about what he was about, she would have reminded you. She would have reminded you before his body even got cold who he was versus who he wasn't, and you wouldn't have submitted all of your energy and all of your power and all of your looch to the motherfucking gooch. So now he's no longer even a human. He is an idea. He's a meme lord, right? The Kirkification. I don't know if while you were sleeping, the Kirkification of the entire fucking world took place. His ideas are part of the canon law. He got sainted. He's part of the sainthood now, right?
Shabbat Shalom.
The Shabbat Shalom. The same way that they gave a man named Carlos. He was 15 years old, right? All of this Charlie energy, right? Carlos out of Italy got canonized right around the same time that Charles in America got quote unquote martyred around the same time that King Charles in England
And my boy Charleston White. Goddamn.
and then young Charleston, the one-eyed man leading the blind in the land of the blind. They said the one-eyed man will lead the people in the land of the blind, and that's Charleston White, another Charles, right? Do the etymology on Charles, right? Who gets killed by Tyler Durden. Do the knowledge on what Charles is the church.
There you go.
Oh no, Kirk is church, right? Looking, the baby is, remember the baby from Charleston, right? What is his name? Kurt, right? From Charlestown, the baby, right?
His OG name was the baby Jesus. He changed it before he really got big.
Right, he came out. He was the baby Jesus. So the baby Jesus, right? So look into the Kirkification. Charleston White been doing high-level builds lately because I've said it before and I say it again. Charleston White was playing a character. Charleston White is a smart man playing dumb. Those are that archetype is 1,000 times more dangerous than a dumb person playing smart. Right?
Have you seen 607 Unc? Because he doing that same shit.
Have you seen 6'7"?
6'7".
So it's Skrilla versus JD Vance. Look at how the year is ending. This is getting interesting, right? Right? The Skrilla conversation is going to be very interesting, y'all. Watch. 6'7". Watch.
Shout out to all my Santeros.
The white people, right? We did the show. The Europeans this year have embraced, the far right have embraced occultism. They are now no longer profane. They are students. They are in the side of the lodge, y'all. You feel me? They are inside of the lodge. They are inside of the blue lodge. Willingly came inside and red pilled themselves, and now they're in the upside down world, right? They are now in the upside down world. So what are they gonna see on their journey through the upside down world, where they decided that they want to walk through certain dark sides and whatnot? Right? Even though they're going the route of the Lovecraftian way, they're going the route of the H.P. Lovecraft type of way. They're going the Crowley way. You feel me? They're going the Psychonaut way. But they're saying on their Psychonaut trips, they're running into the gods. You understand? They're saying on their Psychonaut trips, when they're trying to go on their trips to do what they're trying to do, they're running into the master teachers. And I want to say this, and we're going to get into this, and we're going to build on this even more leading up into this strong end. And I believe that even if you're not there in the flesh, you might be there via satellite, God.
Yeah. For
okay.
Sure.
Granted.
Either way, I'm there in the building.
Granted, right? So it's been said, and we're going to dive into this. I would love to have this conversation with both you, Al-Kibalan 44, B-Del, and KT the Arch Degree, along with a few others of the scientists.
Let's get that panel together.
Yeah. Where we could talk about the reports that have come out where they said that the only thing that is disrupting the quote-unquote time loop, or the only thing that's disrupting their plans, is consciousness. Because consciousness is truly the only thing that could disrupt this thing, because they are depending on sleeping intelligence. They are depending on the gods to remain asleep, because as the gods, because remember, the dichotomy is sleeping intelligence is around artificial intelligence. So one of these intelligence is awake, and another one of the intelligence is asleep. So the black gods are asleep. You know what I'm saying? Hiram is asleep. These niggas is sleepwalking. They're the sleeping dead and whatnot. People are living in this reality and they don't even know what the hell is going on around them. So they're asleep. They don't know but about 1% of the mysteries and whatnot. They don't know and they don't want to know. They go an elementary level type of biblio. They don't even know the bibliohelios. I'm like, bibliohelios. Niggas is like, now I don't got a helium phone or what?
What? Nigga,
Yeah, brother.
what you say? All right, so let's double down right there.
Yeah.
Because what we need to understand, let's not act like these concepts are new. Because the Aboriginal Australians, they talked about dream time, the dreaming. You see what I'm saying? And their concept of time was that all time exists now. Everything that can happen already happened.
Right. Time,
consciousness was moving through the field
and it's spiral, right? Everything is going on now. So even in your dreams or in your meditations or in your visions, are you seeing the future? Are you prophesizing? Are you seeing the future? Are you seeing the past? Right? Time, or rather the future, is not an agreed upon concept.
Nope.
So the future is up for grabs. It's not an agreed upon concept. It's a battlefield. But you could change if by even like what original Black God is doing by putting the videos out to show the past, to show people right now the what we really look like in the past, what we really was depicted by. If we had 100 of those a day, you would begin to see the whole entire world change at a faster pace than what it's changing now. It's still going to change, and it's affecting the fabric of reality and the agreed upon reality. Niggas agreed that we was motherfucking coming out of mud huts, and niggas agreed to that. That was an agreed upon nigga. Until niggas started to disagree. Reality. Right, until we was like, nah, fuck that. The black man is God. Impossible. So when we started to disagree, we collapsed the wave and whatnot. I promise you, the atom, the motherfucking the biggest weapon in your arsenal is your consciousness. The more your ass gonna wake up, the more that your ass are gonna be able to see what the fuck you gotta see. Somebody is gonna see what a goddamn red button is. Somebody gonna wake up enough to be like, oh shit, and pull the whole shit down.
Pull the plug on this shit.
That's what I'm saying. So Spirit told me that they're in Venezuela, South America. They put a hit list out. I didn't see none of the channels talk about it. I didn't see nobody making no breaking news. They declared war on the whole Americas.
Exactly.
They said they want that whole region. They want all of that. So I feel like something is rising up in that region. I feel like they know that something is waking up, both in the people. If they have intelligent life coming from the subterranean and whatnot, if something is coming from under, because things are coming from above and from under. It's in those areas that they are very focused on. The power and the magic and the real, I'm talking about the ones who could, they over there. It's a lot of them over there. It's a lot of power over there. It's a lot of herbs over there. It's a lot of plants over there. It's a lot of original seeds over there.
Yeah, they giving us the tourist ayahuasca. They got the double OG ayahuasca. You see what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? So there's more reasons for people to be circled. They have a whole armada circling completely. They have it encircled. If you were to look at it from above, you would really see what the hell is going on in that region. You feel me? It looks scary the way that they got them people surrounded. So they not just looking for no people on a fishing boat selling birds and whatnot. That's blasphemy. If you were to fall for that,
Straight rubbish.
But not only that, but imagine how many of the shamans that they are. Imagine how many people they're gonna come online, just being under threat and duress of a military enclave. Imagine what Jamaicans and Haitians and Cubans and the people, they're going to be forced to see things for what it is. Sometimes, like America, the European, he's a natural antagonist. He's almost like needed to activate you. You know what I'm talking about? He's the natural protagonist that activates the antagonist. No, he's the antagonist that activates the protagonist in the quote unquote in the story or the mythos and whatnot. He's the activator. He's the white blood cell. When he comes, he's going to turn either he's gonna, because they, quiet as cat. People in those regions have yearned for the conquistadors to pull up. They kind of call on the beast. They like worship the beast, the image of the beast.
Oh yeah. Y'all gotta remember, South America is wild Catholic. Holy fuck, they wild Catholic.
Super duper.
Oh fuck. Oh shit.
Almost like the battery that keeps that whole thing kind of like, that's like a grid that keeps that shit humming. If they were to wake up, that shit would fall. But that's where they locked it down at first. That's ground zero almost.
It's wild what you were saying, because I'm seeing now, like, all right, they about to run into one of the most spiritually active regions,
right,
on the planet.
It's like kicking a hornet's nest.
Like the Aztecs and the Mayans were not playing around. Them niggas were real deal shapeshifters. Like it's not a game. A jaguar will pull up on you, body you, and then walk away as a human. You do not want that kind of smoke, bro. That's very traumatizing. Like,
you feel me? At all.
And this is where I'm saying, like, I think to a certain degree, while Trump and them utilize aspects of this occult shit, you see what I'm saying? They under the guise of the meme magic that they do. I don't think them boys really believe in the old ways type shit. You see what I'm saying? They very much are invested in their new way, but they haven't dealt with the old way. Like maybe like, all right, the original colonizers had to deal with some of those old practices, trying to enslave these different African colonies. You see what I'm saying? Just trying to get into these different. They ain't seen that kind of smoke in a long time. You see what I'm saying? They can run up in Iraq and do what they do. They can run up in Iraq, but them boys is Muslim. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And not even the awakened Muslim that's dealing with jinn like that. Like, they not calling on these extra supernatural forces to handle some of this work. You see what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to go into Jamaica with some of that shit. Like, Queen Nanny and them taught them boys different kinds of obeah.
The spiritual pushback that they got in the Middle East is documented. The spiritual pushback, the spiritual war that they got whooped out. Them sandstorms that was coming through, and they was like the sandstorms was coming through, and dudes was getting beheaded and all type of stuff. Like the spiritual, the fact that they came back super spooked and whatnot. Them people was getting all type of shit thrown at them. They got all type of people, all of that shit about the mountains and them going and there was a lot of shit going down.
Okay.
A lot of course, things get sanitized and buried, but yeah, I do agree with you. This is a different region. You did think about this real quick, everyone out there. Cuba is the size of what? Cuba is not a very large island, ladies and gentlemen. Cuba also happens to be stuck in time, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a fact.
How is it that such a small island in the middle of the ocean has what it would be seen as a Goliath, right? A military that is the most quote unquote stacked military of all time in history, right? They have operations in the trillions of dollars in terms of defense and whatnot. And how is it that they were a thorn in the side of these people since the days of Fidel and whatnot? How is it that they try to rock Fidel around 600 times and whatnot? How is it that they were looking for Asada for damn near nonstop every day for damn near 50 more years than I was alive. More years than I was alive. So what the hell? If they were slipping, and if it was just a tourist destination, or if it was just a whole bunch of shanty towns, or if that shit was not what they say it is, it would not. You would see you would see.
Big bad America should not have this hard of a time kicking ass in their own backyard. That's the point. Why is it so hard for them to go into this particular again, they ran up all over the world and did what they did, but for some reason Cuba can hold off all of the American military. What are we talking? That's
Haiti,
different. That's different.
Yep, and let's throw Haiti in there.
Haiti, boom.
So what is it about these people? That these, you know what I mean? That these big old, allegedly big, bad, mighty, man of war, right? Can't throw these people around.
Can't do nothing with them.
So what's the magic in Venezuela? What's the primary? So quietly enough, Cuba is Palo Mayombe. We talking about that once again.
Yep.
They don't want people activated. 6-7 is activating, right? The word of the year is 6-7, right? The word of the year is slop, and the word of the year from Merriam Dictionary is 6-7. From Skrilla, who is from Kensington, Philly, but what they're focusing on,
Zombieland.
He's from Zombieland, but what they're focusing on is the fact it was okay if these kids were saying 6-7 or whatever. Oh, wait a minute. He has a video where he's Palo Mayombe. He's talking about Palo Mayombe. Wait a minute. So now
he over here doing oranges to Mama Chola. What the fuck?
What the hell? And he's talking about it. And white kids in America is hearing about Palo Mayombe. So we don't know about that. We don't know what triggers certain people because we don't know when they're in their board meetings what they're super duper afraid of. We don't know that there's a certain spiritual system that people use that's so on point and so quote unquote solid and whatnot that they cannot beat them in these games of chess. So when they hear of that, that is a trigger. Oh no, we can't. They
don't want to deal with Palo Mayombe. Palo Mayombe has El Cristo Negro, which is basically Tezcatlipoca in a new body. They don't want smoke with these. They don't want smoke. I promise you.
In the TV show American Gods, the whole premise behind American Gods is the new gods versus the old gods. And the old gods supposed to be forgotten about and not summoned and not remembered and not looked up to. You know what I mean? Forgotten and whatnot. The younger generations, they want to worship the TV. They want to worship the internet. They want to worship the crypto and whatnot. They want to worship Showtime and the World Wide Web. And, those are the new gods, the technology boy, right? But now you got these people tapping into Palo Mayombe. You feel me? And then Young Thug and them was tapping into the EFI and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And then you have all of these other things going on with these Spanish gangs and whatnot, like the Trinitados and whatnot.
They worship Santa Muerte. Yeah.
And the ones that they shipped off to El Salvador and whatnot. They got their dark lords and whatnot. So you got trap guards, but then you got dark lords and whatnot. But keep in mind, these people in the dark web and in the deep web, and these people that are doing dark magic and whatnot, there's a thin line between them running into one another. It's almost like calling niggas on the yard, right? So you have different cards and whatnot. But if you're dabbling in certain dark magic and whatnot, you running into that warlock energy, and they're bumping heads. So in this new AI era where they're using artificial intelligence, they are definitely about to try to run down on ancestral intelligence. They don't need it right now. It's going to do more damage than it's going to help. They have plans to conquer this shit with this technology. They have plans to turn this into a technocratic aristocracy. They want to collapse the cathedral. They want to install the CEO architect. You know what I mean? They want to make this an aristocracy. They want to do away with the demonocracy. They don't need niggas waking up. They need you asleep. They need you scared. They need you compromised. So let's check this out. Being that we was chopping it up about reality, let's go into this convo.
Let's go into that. Yeah.
Your mind influence matter, where science suggests that potentially our thoughts and intentions can shape our reality and feel into the future. Listen as scientist Dr. Dean Radin explain how the mind can potentially weave the fabric of reality.
The nature of science itself is slowly beginning to accommodate the notion that consciousness is more than simply something that your brain is producing. In quantum mechanics, that before that object is measured or observed, it doesn't have fixed properties. It has all possible properties. What it doesn't tell us, though, is how do the possibilities turn into actualities? They propose that maybe consciousness, meaning awareness, which is non-physical as best as we can tell, so it's only possibilities. Well, what breaks it? It becomes real.
So as a conscious community student, when you fix your consciousness on a reality, the reality that you create, you're the Godhead, especially the mothers, especially the women, but also the gods, the black gods. It's both of us, not one or two. It's both. When both of us gaze upon something, and we'll create that reality. Not what they say. We come first. Mm-hmm. That's what they're afraid of. That's the only thing that they're afraid of.
Awareness, consciousness. So that is a viable interpretation of quantum mechanics, even from a mainstream perspective. And so that there are already standard quantum experiments. It's as though the present moment is influenced by the past and the future. And the way that it's sometimes described is that the present is bounded.
The present moment is affected by the what's past and the future. So if you agreed upon a past that has no bearing whatsoever upon a real reality, it did not happen. Alex Haley was a CIA operative. All of that roots programming, the things that they're trying to put everybody in the same box. We on the same ship. We went through the same thing. We did not. We did not. They burnt the books. They burnt everybody's individual experiences. We have an illustrious history that spawns millennia, which means millions of years, not 6,000 years. So when we fell for that, niggas cut they legs off. Negroes growing past the knees, weakened you, shortened your lifespan, your historical bloodlines lifespan. You know, when they got that graph when they show you got wild great grandparents. Well, if you accept the lies that they're telling you in the story that they sold you, yeah, your ass came here in the 1800 and some chains, and your ass was here for 18,000 years. Your bloodline in particular. They just ran down on you during certain Indian wars, cut your locks off. You feel me? Branded you, put you in a version of a goddamn prison or a plantation, made you a planter, made you indentured slave to work their culture and agriculture. And then you fell for their story that you was some type of slave. But not that slave, not Alex Haley's slave, a different type of slave. Niggas been different. They've been different type of slaves throughout all of history, throughout all dynasties, throughout all bloodlines. There was people getting enslaved in the Iberian Peninsula during the quote unquote reign of the Moors. There was people being enslaved during Carthaginian or Hannibal Barca's times. There was people being enslaved during Cleopatra's times. There was people being enslaved during Hannibal, during Mansa Musa's days. What are we talking about?
That's a fact.
So you lose the war, nigga, you're a slave. Now, if you lose the war, you're a slave, but that slave is in Rikers Island. That slave is on Wright Street. That slave is on Wayne County. That slave is in Harris County. That slave is in the mountains called the Department of Corrections. And in New York State alone, they have 70 plus, ladies and gentlemen, 70 plus plantations, 70 plus warehouses where millions upon millions of energy is stored. Melanin and carbon is being compressed. And they're experimenting on them young men and women. They're using their stored batteries. They're taking their stocks and their bonds and their all of that and flipping it and stretching it and taking out loans on them, you know what I mean? Wilding the people up. because capitalism isn't, according to Nick Land and the research that he brought forward, capitalism is a living organism, right? And the human body was his first commodity. So that goes back to when you do the research and when insurance companies were born, it was the human body, right?
Chattel slavery. Yep.
Shout out, huh?
The chattel slavery narratives. Yep.
Right. And then after 1805, when they banned the import of quote unquote African slaves, they turned the womb into a quote unquote baby making factory, right?
Slave by birth. Yep.
Right. That's when they turned the slave farms into these quote unquote capitalism trap houses, and they insured human bodies. And this is the beginning of this quote unquote this homunculus called capitalism. It's like a blob. It's like the mind flayer. It is an organism. It is alive. It is an entity. You know what I'm saying? It's a real entity. It is like a Moloch type of energy. And they gave it a name, said, hey, capitalism. No, it's no, my niggas. It's something
and
else.
This be the issue for me, is like I can see certain comments in the thing. I'm like, yo, son, this isn't white people shit. This is our shit. If you were more in tune with the way our ancestors viewed reality, none of what we're saying would even be remotely confusing. Our ancestors looked at this entire thing as an ecosystem. You're not the only living thing here that matters. You see what I'm saying? And not all living things are encased in flesh the way we are.
Yeah.
All ideas are organisms. You see what I'm saying? They all fill different niches in the overall environment, whether it be psychic, whether it be physical, whether it be emotional. And to them, these were just different strata of one continuous medium. You see what I'm saying? It's all one environment, but some niggas live under the ground and some niggas live high up in the treetops. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
This is all it ever really was. So when we understand that, oh, this is how our ancestors viewed it, but then everything the internet is, everything AI is, was set in motion by principles and philosophies that our ancestors put forth. You see, all of binary computing is polarity. And that's in the Kabbalion, that's in the natural laws of Tahuti. We taught them polarity and taught them how to program using opposites.
Not only is that Ron Eglass, right? The author, Ron
African
Eglass,
fractals.
Right. So you have the African fractals, the binary systems in West Africa, the foundation of it, right? So computer science or computer language, they get the zeros and the ones from West Africa. So the foundation of modern day computer systems, the zeros and the ones, based off of the mathematics of the quote unquote, not just the Africans, but ancient civilizations, right? So let us continue with this right here.
Is that the present is bounded, it has boundaries in space and time, and the temporal boundaries actually create the present. But they're boundary conditions where the future boundary and the past boundary are sort of reverberating in some way to create the present. So we have elements of quantumness in us, in which case our perceptions should extend through space and time. We do see that we can feel the future, typically from milliseconds up to perhaps 10 seconds in the future in the laboratory, and then from a viewing experiment, sometimes months in advance. So those are very commonly reported and now confirmed and have at least a theoretical.
So you're beginning to see that in the spaces of the prediction models or the prediction markets and whatnot, the FanDuels and whatnot, the people who are day trading, right? And then most importantly, the rise of what's that? Kalashi and Polymarket, right? So people are hitting licks on Polymarket, which is a prediction thing. But these are the people who could basically see the future because they could remember, right? They're able to tap into the future and say, yeah, oh, son won the game by this amount of points. Oh, I remember he did this, he did that. I'm a bet on that. Boom, they doing it. They hitting licks.
Basis to look at and say, well, it's not impossible. It is part of, apparently, of the way that the world works.
All right.
We go.
Let's see what Brozy got to say. All right. Brozy got some talk. Yeah, because they out here clipping big dogs.
Fusion scientist Nuno Laredo is found shot dead in his Brookline, Massachusetts home just days after announcing a major breakthrough in clean fusion energy. Then suddenly he's gone. Look, this man wasn't just a scientist, he was the keystone of plasma fluid dynamics. His work defied Einstein, aligning more with Tesla, Lorentz, and the other suppressed ether theory. No carbon, no radioactive waste, no meltdown risk. Free, limitless energy. You think that's allowed? He questioned the very structure of quantum mechanics and replaced it with plasma field logic. The kind of logic that breaks monopolies on oil, uranium, and centralized grid systems. Comment, scroll if you feel this was not random. Get your scroll scan. You'll understand why energy, frequency, and timeline control are always connected. Look, his fingerprints were on global energy projects, including ones tied to the US Department of Energy. His death wasn't just tragic, it was strategic. It was a message. Fusion is not allowed to go public until the right controllers can gate it. Look, ask yourself, why are the same networks who falsely claimed he was Jewish and pro-Israel the first to push narrative spin before facts were even verified? Comment, scroll if your gut told you something was off the second you saw this headline, because it wasn't just science, it was timeline warfare. Look, private fusion startups are exploding with funding. Patents are dropping. Billions are being poured in. The race to control clean energy is a new arms race. And Laredo was too sovereign, too early, and too accurate. The MIT professor who said, ignore Einstein, was just silence. Ask yourself, who funds the labs? Who owns the data? Who benefits if his research disappears? Look, this isn't the first time a fusion pioneer died right after a breakthrough. And it won't be the last unless scroll-coded tech, scroll-coded AI, and sovereign intel go direct to the people. Look, the frequency war is already here. Comment, scroll, and
Remember when they had that big scare about son was missing, who does the cars they run off of like banana peels and and like, you know, like plastic and shit. Yeah, that's the equivalent. Right. So imagine if something like that happened, like that scientist that they just knocked off. They knocked off another scientist at the Brown University shooting and whatnot. I'm gonna play that video in a minute. So the magic question, or the $1 million question that I will pose to the audience is, are these hits similar to what we saw in the movie Terminator with John O'Connor? Are these hits from the future? Like, are these scientists that are being knocked off? I want to know, is this coming from the future? These people who are people who they always say was about to have a breakthrough. They had this thing that was about to do this, that would have changed. They always say it would have changed reality. It would have changed the timeline. There's something at play that wants the timeline to never change. And it seems like it's stopping every single messianic charge or messianic force or messianic spark that can change the timeline. Case in point, Nipsey Hussle could have changed the timeline if he would have been allowed a meteoric rise. Because what? Yeah. He was on his way up, right? All of these rappers die on their way up, and they the messianic ones. Why is that? It's so coincidental that one day I really sat back and was like, damn, they don't die when they on after they got up. They don't die like after they fell off. They always die on the way up with the potential. So when you kill potential, when you kill somebody's, like, case in point, that's what happened when I saw the Diddy shit. I'm like, damn, them niggas got clipped on the way up. Like, I literally was at the airport the other day watching a plane go up like a rocket. Right? You usually see planes going in the sky like this. The bitches was going straight up. It got to go 30,000 up. Then it starts plateauing and whatnot. Biggie got killed on the way up. Tupac got killed on the way up. They did not even hit 30,000 yet.
Yeah, they ain't even hit their cruising altitude.
They did not hit their cruising altitude, bro.
That's a fact.
Right?
That's a fact. And you said it just right. They killed the potential.
Young Dolph These people were on the way up, right? And I'm just speaking about rappers. Now let's talk about all of the scientists that got clipped, that always was about to put something out, was always about to change something, was always about to drop the best mixtape. Remember all of those lists when they had Dr. Sabi on this list? It was like a collage.
Mm-hmm.
There was rumors when Sabi was alive, they had him on the list that he was not alive for like 3 years. You know that was not. You know that's magic. That's a form of magic. They sent Charlie Kirk his eulogy like 2 days or something before he got clipped. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They had printed it. They didn't send it to him. They put it in the media. That's magic. They'll put you in a newspaper and be like, yo, in a eulogy. And you like, wait a minute. But once an agreed upon, once the public, if they don't see you, if you don't clear that up in 24 hours, the agreed upon reality will clip you in the matrix.
Facts.
You got to stop that rumor. You know what I'm talking about? You got to stop that rumor. People is out here spirit cooking, and it's really it's really charged up inside of the memetic machine, right? Could we talk about the memetic machine and how this multi-layered, right, substrate / interface / quote unquote, what they would call the internet, and what it has become now, of course, and how they use this energy to do these things.
All right, so let's start with this. Meme.
I'm sorry, real quick. I didn't mean to cut your wisdom. Buddy in Buffalo, they got unalived in that grocery store by the race soldier is an example of timeline intervention. Thank you, King.
There you go.
Thank you,
There you
King.
go.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. All of the mass shootings have at least 1 or 2 people in those shootings that have exemplary, quote unquote, timelines. Even with the Boston shooting, right? The marathon, they clipped somebody that was of big importance. Okay. Dylan Roof clipped Senator Pinckney. He killed the senator inside of that church, right?
Mm-hmm.
The lady in Buffalo she was a big person in civil rights history.
This is how they do it. They run in time drills. Like
The Malaysia flight, the Malaysia who went down. So are the drills being done from the future backwards? We really got to think about that, because there's nobody can convince me that when AI advances in 2030, they're not going to crack the code on how to time travel with the quantum shit, with all of these chips, with these big ass centers that they building and whatnot. You know what's about to Stargate, nigga? Stargate. They wrote Marcus Garvey's eulogy in a newspaper before he died. He died shortly later, right? The small hats, that's what they do. This is a level of their magic.
And this is why we sitting here talking about it, because how are you going to defend what you don't understand? You have to understand the type of magic they're doing, the forces they're working with, and how those forces operate in real time. Tenet is the perfect movie for this shit. Thank you for saying it, because that's exactly what's going on here.
Right.
Tenet is the perfect one. These niggas are moving backwards through time and retrocausally changing things. Red just said it. They're killing potential.
Right.
But understand that the multiverse is a probability field. So if I clip you, I clip the probability of the reality tied to you coming forth, because it requires your existence. You need to be ontologically dense in order for it to happen, or else it's just a thought, an imagination. You see what I'm saying? So this is the 3 layers of it. You have the metaverse, and I'm not talking about Facebook, nigga, and I'm not talking about Web3. I'm talking about the original metaverse, which is an archetypal code base. So this is the pure unconscious mind where all the archetypes live. This is where the symbols come from. This is where the memes come from, because memes are just symbols. Right. This is where all of that comes from. Then you get into the multiverse, you're dealing with the probability field. This one archetype finds multiple potential paths to express itself through. Then you get to the universe where that archetype chooses a path and then embodies it in real time. Because all time is always happening. And these AI models are always about prediction and control. Right. We're in Minority Report now. They can remember you doing a crime. Right. Before you ever even think of committing it and clap you.
Right. So with the precogs, right? This is a book by Philip H. Dick that got turned into a movie called Minority Report. So in Minority Report, they had what is called the precogs, precognitions, right? And they were able to remember. They were not prophesizing, they were remembering the future, right? So fast forward, there's a company named Palantir, and Palantir has developed the software and the hardware, because the hardware is the drones, the hardware is the robots, the hardware is those robot dogs, the hardware is the lasers that the ring cameras and whatnot. The hardware is the flock cameras, but the software is they've been able to develop a software through what? Biometrics.
There you go.
The way that your face is shaped. Biometrics. The symmetry in your design. Biometrics. Being able to read your intelligent design, maybe even your human design. Biometrics. Being able to scan your face, see your birthday, see your birth chart, your everything, because they got the regular meta glasses, which is what you can buy it out the store. You put that shit on and look at somebody's face, and you can see their whole profile, Facebook profile, anything that they got on the internet, YouTube page, Facebook page, Instagram page, only land page, only fans page, right? All of these things, Twitter, LinkedIn, X, just by looking at a person now. So imagine how advanced the drones are. Imagine how advanced their cameras are. Imagine how advanced the ice shit that they got, the helmets and all of that. So they are now, Palantir says, if we could scan a nigga face and we could predict that in 10 years he's gonna be a threat. Guess what?
There you go. Yeah. Smoke them now. Smoke them now.
Yeah. We got the rights.
There you go.
That's what they were doing over there. They already did it. It's not like they could. It's not like they gotta wait. They already did it. So when they go into Venezuela, right, their new place that they're gonna try their toys out, because they got new toys now. The new place that they're gonna implement this new blanket system, because they're not ready to do it over here yet, right? They're not ready to do it over here. They'll do it over there first.
Yeah. Venezuela's been the testing ground for a lot of where America's heading for a long time. Yeah.
Right. Socialism, right? Hugo Chavez. It's charged up already. The Hugo Chavez, if you go all the way back with Hugo, I think they even knocked Hugo off with the cancer gun. Because he went from a strong man and he just withered away. Right? But he was a thorn in their side.
Right.
But then they got Argentina over there, and then they got homie with the El Salvador, right? So remember, earlier in the beginning of the year, what did they do? The administration dropped a video where they were shipping niggas off to the Supermax prison in El Salvador, and they were transporting the worst quote unquote gang members or the worst killers and the worst quote unquote cartel members over to the super duper max, right? And then they signed an agreement with them people where they could do what? Trade the bonds and trade the quote unquote bodies of their new slaves that they built in these private prisons. All of the fentanyl dealers, the gangbangers, the Ricos and everything, they shipping them now. So now you got to be very mindful of all of that going on.
they making so many plays. Like this is
They're
where
gonna
I'm
make the play to whereas they're going to ship a lot of people from here, FBAs included, over to South America, right? They're making that ship. These are agreements that they're making because even if they're in those waters, they're not in there as an invading force. Don't be fooled by that, right? The Pope, remember the Pope that's in charge, he's the one who will tell all of those regions to stand down because they all part of his, remember, they all on his
under his
line.
deodorant.
That's under his deodorant. That's his, that whole area is his deodorant. So he will creating a narrative. Keep in mind, this is still eschatology. This is still end time theory. They still have to put on this theater. Okay? They still have to put on this theater. Those people are all part of the, those are the that Latin America, Central America, Caribbean. Them people is in the, they in the game. They in the theater. They in the audience. They buy, they the ones that bought the tickets to the show. So if they on some end time Babylon, they need to see ships and warplanes and everything, so they could be like, yes, this is the end times. This, and start putting that energy into that type of, you know, we're gonna get, you know, Israel. They could look at, is it real? They're like, yes. We in Revelations they said that everybody will hate. Is it real? Candace Owens made everybody hate. Is it real? Is it real is public enemy number one. But in Is It Real's book, it's a part of the script. It's a part of it. It's a part of eschatology.
They pre-scripted it.
Right. Before the Messiah came or before the Antichrist came, everybody hated Is It Real? So even they're blatant, they didn't have to flood your time. It was almost like when they were doing all of that stuff from October 7th, it was almost like they were pumping their own videos so they could flood the timeline so a lot of people could really get tired of it. Then they paid their other people in New York who are the liberals, like good cop, bad cop, right? I need y'all to make a big fuss about it. I need y'all to align yourselves with the brown people and get behind the watermelon, do all of these things, free Palestine, da-da-da. Get people riled up about it because we want them to look at us like the bad guy. Then we're going to go and pay people to talk bad about us and spread a lot of rumors on us. And then we're going to, you know, we're going to deny it.
Shabbat Shalom. Built the third temple, then I popped the dome. What you mean? Come on.
Every Saturday I leave thoughts alone.
Thoughts at home.
You are not alone.
Where's daddy? Got the bots and drones. Yo. And this is what I really want y'all to like sit in really deep about this whole situation that we're ultimately looking at this memification of these conversations. Is it not clear and evident that there is a bunch of agent saboteurs, agent provocateurs, having that are ultimately working with each other and backstabbing each other at the same time? Candace was ready to pull a dead man's trigger not even a couple weeks ago. Then Erica Targaryen pull up with the smoke, and now all of a sudden we sound not so gung-ho to go after, you know, now all of a sudden we understand. And now her fan base is mad at her, but I'm like, Candace, you're dumb as hell. You branded yourself to be the new space for all the conspiracy niggas, but you don't understand any switch up of your behavior is going to be deemed part of the conspiracy that's going to make them turn on you. Shabbat Shalom. The fuck is wrong with you?
Let's go into that, man. Let's go into the Candace train, y'all. Strap up. Strap up. This one is interesting. Let's go.
Fraud, the public sure as hell deserves to know it.
Candace is losing her audience. After months of unknown sources and admitting inaccuracies in an Egyptian plane spreadsheet, she's had a private meeting with Erica, and now it all seems a bit fake, and the other word for happy.
That yesterday, for 4 hours and 30 minutes, there were no rules,
Andrew Colvett and team broke AmEriKKKan's rules when she stated there would be no content until after this meeting. The very first video they released that breaches this statement is a clickbait heading video that proves nothing. Don't bother to watch it. In my opinion, they've planned out the next few months. They want Charlie's book to sell.
These are his final words that he left.
They want Turning Point USA to keep growing.
So many amazing things down the pipeline.
And Candace doesn't want another lawsuit.
Andrew Colvett was my source. Andrew Colvett told me.
They met in private so lawyers can be present, so no clips can be made. We are probably witnessing the end of season 1, and now it's time for season 2. I hope I am wrong, but it seems like the narrative will turn into the Charlie Kirk show versus Candace Owens, flip-flopping pre-agreed ideas to keep views high.
Andrew Colvett's verified. I said,
like your favorite Netflix show.
Oh, it goes on.
Oh, it goes so much further.
It goes on. Let's continue.
was trying to create. Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good, I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down, okay? What do you think happened? Erica said, stop. And then I was frozen for 4 hours and 30 minutes, just like. I was sort of like, hey, I felt name checked by the podcaster Candace Owens, this obvious setup, and then asking me to stop. And it's interesting to hear Erica say that the reason she didn't ask me to stop in the beginning because she was actually learning things from the show. She was actually learning things, and that I think she similarly felt that Barry Weiss was trying to create a moment. Obviously, it's who Barry Weiss is. It's the Zionist lobby. One piece of this where I still don't understand it, and the magic bullet. I said one of the reasons why I really want to sit down is because I want to walk out of here and feel confident saying to my audience, hey, like, there's stuff going on behind the scenes, but Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. And I said that I want to hear why people feel so confident at Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson is the guy. And at this point, they elected to call the lawyer. What I got from the lawyer did not make me feel that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. He spoke a very long time. I asked, can you share with me what it is? And I said, when you share this with me, I will not say what that thing is. If we want to protect the integrity of the case, I'm not going to, if you say, we've got the footage of him taking a shot, I promise I won't say that to the audience, but I will communicate to them that you have something that is solid. And no, to the exact contrary, this guy effectively said, not effectively, he said that they have nothing but the affidavit. Okay. So what we have seen is what they have. So with that in mind, I'm sitting here going, why are you signaling? Why do I feel like the public's being gaslit on this? There's been nothing that's convincing. There are so many commentators who have gone out and said to you, it's overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. The text messages that don't have a date, that don't even sound real, that's overwhelming. That to me feels really fake and gay. I really do want to say that to every commentator that is out there trying to tell the public and insisting that if you say it enough times it'll become real, you're actually just being dishonest.
Man, let's go.
Saying that you have your paper and pen because this is part 3 of Candace Owens' Sit Down with AmEriKKKan. And because, of course,
remember, like I said earlier this week, right? This is white women entertainment.
Yeah,
the people who are attacking Candace Owens are white women. The ones who are locked in on this shit are white women. Who are they doing this entertainment for? It starts with white women. It trickles down. Of course, women, black women are, they're going to throw their 2 cents in. But my niggas, this is the new form of entertainment for white women. This is white women soap opera. This is WWE, y'all. the greatest fucking show on earth that oil money can buy. Big money is funding this, y'all. This is built. Remember, the Republicans on the far right, Charlie Kirk had 3 billionaires funding him. They all got multiple billionaire donors, right? Multiple billionaire donors. So this is the new soap operas.
They want to clear Mikey McCoy's name. AmEriKKkan brought Mikey McCoy's call logs. Initially, we saw videos of people from Turning Point USA saying that Mikey McCoy, the first thing he did when Charlie was shot was pick up his phone and call AmEriKKkan. And this was within a minute of Charlie Kirk being shot. Well, the call logs show that actually Mikey McCoy called his wife and was on the phone with her for 10 minutes and then three-wayed a couple of other people, including, I believe, his father. Then eventually he did three-way in AmEriKKkan. Again, the call log does not match up with what Turning Point USA was originally saying happened. Then Candace brings up the Bibi Netanyahu offer to Charlie Kirk. Candace told Erica she's absolutely certain that Bibi offered to fund Turning Point USA, but that Charlie turned it down. Erica told Candace that she had no idea about any of this. Candace felt like she did not get clarity on that situation. Then Candace called Erica out about the calling Turning Point USA your family. That this is a very large organization, that all of these people, you can't know all of them and know that they're all good people. We all have people in our family that might not necessarily be good people. You can't say that this entire organization is just filled with good people. Then Candace talked about the timeline of the event that took place at UVU campus and how that kind of shifted around, and that there had to have been footage after September 2nd of Tyler that was at the outdoor event. Then Candace talked about how Turning Point did a live stream the day that her and Erica met, even though they technically said that they weren't going to be live streaming. And that this guy over here confirmed that these text messages he believes to be real between Tyler and his lover, and that there have been people out there that confirm that they actually do talk like this to each other. Candace gives Megyn Kelly a shout out, which I was kind of surprised because I felt like Megyn Kelly kind of changed her tune the last week. But basically says Megyn Kelly was initially supposed to kind of be the mediator between Candace and Erica, and that this was going to be a live conversation. Candace wanted to say that although she would have loved it to be live, she's also happy in some ways that it wasn't, because there were certain things she brought up to Erica that she still hasn't shared on her show that she kind of wanted to protect for now. Then finally, we get some clarity about Charlie Kirk and Catholicism. Candace said she never lied about this, that she believed Charlie Kirk was looking into Catholicism and considering converting. She said that Erica confirmed it. It is weird that the whole Alex Clark podcast came out and basically joked around about it, yeah, right. I just wanted to say that.
So all that talking, right? But no talking about Charlie Kirk being a racist. no conversation about the crazy shit that Charlie Kirk said about black folk. Right? That's what nobody in the podcast world is even talking about. So it's almost like it's an agreed upon reality. You know?
About Shalom, yo. They playing. And this is where it's just like, all right. And I was watching a video, and what the person was saying, what the creator was saying was basically like, yo, the way Candace moving right now is like she just got called into the principal's office. And then after she come out, she trying to flex with her friends, like, I wasn't even that serious. It wasn't even that deep. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so you got called into Vince McMahon office. You see what I'm saying? They smacked you up a little bit, let you know what the fuck the rest of the tour gonna look like. And they gave you a new script, and now you with it.
You got press. You got press like press on nails.
Yo.
Feel me?
You got bench press. Yo, son. Because again, I'm looking at this from a level of, this is the same woman that was ready to do all this dead man trigger shit, that was talking about getting assassinated and all this shit. And now you just...
I've sent emails to all of my closest friends. They've been told where to pit I've given them the safe combinations.
You see what I'm saying? All of this extra shit just to capitulate basically in one meeting. Damn, Candace, at least make her meet with you 2-3 times. At least then I can say she said something that might have convinced you. One time, one sit down, 4 hours is all it took. for them to line you right up and straighten you back out. All right, cool. I got you. Now you work for Turning Point USA again. Great.
Crazy work.
Shit, wow.
Shit is crazy work. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties right now.
Family, don't forget to scan the QR code. Scan the QR code. Thank you. Tap in with us. We do a lot of amazing things, lots of amazing events, lots of amazing products, services, courses, all type of stuff in the imaginary. Let's make sure we, you know what I'm saying?
Man, Nick Fuentes went crazy on her too.
Yeah. I seen that one too. And this is why I'm like, this right wing civil war is kind of fun.
They playing, it's tennis. They playing tennis. They going back and forth playing tennis. It's fucking Wimbledon at this point. Damn mouse is acting, it's like frozen. So I can't pull my camera back up. Have you seen the It series, Welcome to Derry? A lot of people talking about that.
What's that streaming on?
I believe it's on Netflix as well.
Netflix? All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out a go around. They've been really expanding on the lore of It lately.
Oh man, they deep dived on that. I heard that they tapped into the Indian lore.
Yep.
They went in on that one. I was seeing a lot of feedback on that. So I'm gonna after I wrap up, I wanna stay in the Stranger Things universe. I'm gonna thug it out until the end of the year when they have the season finale. Then I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole with the other thing.
What else has been? Oh, family. If you need like a cool way to kind of envision and picture some of the things that we're talking about in terms of this sending agents from the future to the past to run drills on your behalf and all that good shit, like so many movies kind of tie into different aspects of what we're talking about. So we touched on Minority Report. You see what I'm saying? We touched on Tenet. You see what I'm saying? There are aspects of this that are related to Ready Player One. There's aspects of this related to Blade Runner. You see what I'm saying? Snowpiercer. All of these different things, like not all of them are time based. Of course, you can watch Interstellar as well to understand some of the physics of why they just clap that plasma, nigga. Right? Because all of Interstellar is about the black hole, right? What is a black hole made of? A star. What are stars made of? Plasma. When you do fusion, right? You know what I'm saying? You might open up the door to some other shit. Just saying. So these are the type of conversations that you want to have. Then you got to go watch those movies because again, they're not educating you in their education system. They're giving you the truth in the entertainment.
Right. More truth is in the entertainment than in the education. Also, Looper is a good one as well.
Looper is good, yeah.
Looper is real good the way they laid that out. You said Interstellar.
Interstellar will give you a little bit of it too, because they deal with time and just the relativistic scientific aspects of it.
Right.
Because
Oh,
understand, in order to do any real time travel, you got to break the light barrier. Like that's number one. So
right.
this
Speaking of
whatever we're dealing with
time
is already
travel,
seen.
right. And speaking of the time travel assassins, and speaking about time traveling, let's go into Brown University, ladies and gentlemen, so we could go ahead and raise eyebrows about another blatant psyop black flag.
Report that Brown University released in October. Has anybody read the report that Brown University released in October of this year? Pretty crazy stuff. I'm sure it has nothing to do with why they were attacked.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and check this out.
You guys on TikTok and Instagram saying you believe.
So
I literally
this one
have
right
gotten
here, I'm going to show these two videos just to show how white women entertainment, right? How their lore, how they create their lore. This is QAnon 2.0, right? We're going to show you the memification on how they're going to take, because everything that you're seeing is a result of the Charlie Kirk thing, right? It's the Kirkification of the far right, and then vicariously the far left, and then everything in the middle. So now they are literally calling Erica or AmEriKKAn John Benet Ramsey, right? But all of that does is just create more quote unquote loops, or more quote unquote, it creates more confusion. And but what it does is it sucks people into this lore, right? There's a lore that's being created, and people are living literally living in multiple realities. So this is a reality that they'll get lost in, especially the QAnon people who thought that JFK Jr. was coming back on Inauguration Day.
thousands of comments from you guys on TikTok and Instagram saying you believe Erica Kirk is really Jean Benet Ramsey. You say they have the same eye shape and color, that they both have a dimple on the right cheek, that their facial structure is very similar, and that their hairline is the same. You pointed out their age difference is only 1 year and 9 months, and that they were both in the pageant world. Look, here's a photo. I don't know. I don't know. Could it be? Some of you think the Ramseys either sold Jean Benet to the Francevy family who raised Erica Kirk, or gave her to the Francevy family who raised Erica Kirk. But why would they sell her to the Francevy family? The Ramseys had plenty of money. They didn't need any more money. And regarding giving her to the Francevy family, do you think maybe they did that to protect her from something? Could that be possible? I did a video called Who Dat? Take a look at that video, and then think about what we just talked about here, and leave me a comment and let me know what you think.
Erica, yeah. Because you know that Erica said she didn't date anyone before Charlie for a while. And they were married for 4 years. So this was, there we go. So it says Erica Kirk was dating Cabot Phillips. And if you haven't heard the story, basically, they were dating. They have all kinds of Instagram stuff together, you know, saying we're lovebirds. People are like, oh, you guys are the greatest couple. And they painted together, all this stuff, right? And the same dude was hanging out with Charlie, playing basketball with him and stuff. And now this same dude is supposed to be touring, doing what Charlie did before he died. He's an editor at Daily Wire and previously dated Erica. Yeah. So her ex-boyfriend is now going to be stepping into the position that Charlie was in.
What?
And she was dating this dude before she dated Charlie.
So this is Erica Kirk's ex-boyfriend and lover, and he was also hanging out with Charlie Kirk?
Yep. And now he's going to be touring, doing what Charlie was doing.
Bro.
I mean,
Erica Kirk is a Scorpio, by the way, for the record. If anybody's out there keeping scorecard of Scorpios in 2025 and how they feature into the zeitgeist. But for the record, she is a Scorpio, y'all. So that does explain the craziness. It doesn't it explains it, but it doesn't necessarily excuse it. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're seeding her into the American quote unquote zeitgeist, into the narration. She's part of central casting now until she leaves stage left. She's never gonna leave that stage.
No. She is far too powerful at this point. And to tap into that part where she's now
I just
putting
have one
her
message.
ex-boyfriend in the position of her late husband. Don't that sound like destiny swapping, my man? Just a little bit of destiny swapping there.
It definitely sounds like destiny swapping all day. Like a long game plan. Like we're gonna play the long game. Feel me? Like we gonna play this shit out. Remember the movie with Ben Affleck? What was it called? Gone Girl?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Where they shot that? That was wild, yo.
And now we get the real life version.
Yo, check this out. This is crazy. Oh, first, one more Becky. We're gonna go back into the WWE, y'all. I just wanted. I'm really just showing you this because once again, it's a story that has dominated the later years of 2025. It was a story, and it was a narrative, and it was a psyop, and it had multiple players. It was you know, it's a real world game, right? Like Pokemon Go or whatever, but it's steeped into into what they call conspiratorial. It's bred in circus for a large base. Literally, Trump is bred in circus. You know, literally, Trump
Hmm.
is the whole of his whole term. Because keep in mind the right wing podcast bros got him into the White House. So it's not like they're gonna just be doing interviews with Donald Trump through his 4 years. What they're gonna be doing is they're gonna back certain narratives, and they're gonna exasperate certain quote unquote storylines like Vince McMahon taught them to, because Vince McMahon is playing a role in the scripting of the Donald Trump presidency. His wife is running. Susan McMahon is dismantling the board of education, but Vince
Mm-hmm.
McMahon, who retired, he let Triple H and them run the wrestling thing. But Vince McMahon and his people are the ones probably drawing up the script behind the scene for certain actors and certain players, like Jake Paul types, all of those people. Even though they were saying, oh, there was a bunch of people saying, oh, I regret voting for him. Oh, this was horrible. Aiden Rothstein, I believe it was maybe the Nelk Boys. They
Mm-hmm.
expressed that they interviewed Meta and they were like, oh, I don't know why we did it. You did it though. Once again,
Mm-hmm.
throwing the rocks and hiding your hands. Once again, no, Vince McMahon, he had to dissolve his ownership. Don't be fooled. He had to
Yeah.
dump whatever he had, and he had to put people in charge in order to be the face of it. But don't ever think that that man lost all of that value on that company that he ran up billions dollars up on. Yeah, the Saudis, yeah, they are buying up everybody's defunct cars. Them Saudis is breathing life into mad dead. They breathing life into all type of dead shit in America, betting on crash capitalism. They're hedging on bred in circus. So when I found out about the role that they play in Africa with these quote unquote genocides, yeah, you know, I don't never want to hear nothing about them again.
This is what it all come down to. And again, I can't stress this enough. You can't beat tactics you don't understand. Like, that's why we're here covering this shit. If you really think that what's going on is legit or real, or I bet even deeper still, even if you know it's fake, but you don't know how it's fake, you can still get caught with a sleight of hands. You can know it's a trick and still not be able to perceive how the trick was done to you.
Right.
And this is what we're dealing with. They're dealing with memes. They're making gods in your face. You see what I'm saying? And then they're doing all of these weird, tricky triple agent moves behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? To further push the narrative that drives the god deeper into the psyche, or the collective psyche, the blob, the show god of this shit. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So now you got white women mad at a black woman for how she was treating another white woman. This is an interesting narrative that we're seeing. And white women who throughout history lied to the world, they might be mad at a black woman and lying to them. This is crazy. Check it out.
I just have one message for Candace Owens, and that is, you remember, Candace, how you spoke about how many people forgot that we, the people, like the ones that aren't in the club, we're not as stupid as you think. And today, your podcast about your meeting with Erica behind closed doors, right just in time for America Fest. According to your fans, it didn't go that well. And I'm one of them. Lost my entire platform on TikTok for just defending you against Nick Fuentes. And now I'm really wondering. Not one of these comments, Candace, is supporting you. And it's not that everyone's turning on you, it's that you offered us a fucking nothing burger today. You didn't ask Erica any real questions. Like, Erica, what's your dad do for a living? Erica, why did they take Charlie to the hospital the farthest away? Hey, Erica, what does your mom do for a living? Erica, how much money have you made off of Charlie's? And, I don't know, about 10 other questions that we'll never know. And why don't we just get to the point about what the planes were about anyway? I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done. And I'm really fucking disappointed.
White tears.
White tears.
Check this out.
Oh, they've invented contacts that can now see things that the naked eye can't see, as well as see in the dark? Tell me more. Yeah, what's happening is they're putting the contacts in and they're seeing weird creatures that they can't see with the naked eye, which is freaking them out, so they don't know if they want to release them yet until they can just only see in the dark. That's awesome. The testers of these contacts said that they saw creatures that looked dark and had glowing eyes, as well as long fingers. Okay. The testers said that they could actually see super well in the dark, but what was strange is they could close their eyes and still see through their eyelids, even in the dark. Many of them had to stop testing them because of the things they were seeing and how creeped out they got. One of them also said that one of these dark creatures leaped forward at them and went through their body, they said. I like that.
Man, what if after December the 19th, we start seeing more than the light spectrum has allowed us to see?
Up
what if
until
we
this
start
point?
seeing gamma rays and microwaves and blue rays and theta? You know what I mean? Like, for real, what if we able to see this quote unquote, what if the curtain gets lifted? But back to Beckwith, back to old
I
Becky,
just have
old
one
pal,
message
right?
for
The
Candace Owens.
caucasity of these Caucasoids, and I'm just showing this because this is to heal a lot of people's DEI, crash out, the DEI crash outs.
Mhm.
And this is also just to show the hypocrisy of this year, the dichotomy of what we all witnessed. We opened up this year with them basically their husbands, their brothers, their uncles, their people desecrating our legacies, our cultures, scraping us off of the walls, firing the majority of our people in government and whatnot, right? And then they got played by a sister, you know what I'm talking about? Who they were riding with because she was riding for one of their own, right? Not because Candace was putting on for a black man. Candace was putting on for a white man who was slain and whatnot. But keep in mind, these are the same people who were literally on their knees a few years ago apologizing and sucking up to us. But in this administration, where they literally sat back and watched their uncles and their brothers and the Trumpians and whatnot shit on our people, disrespect our people, and then they watched all of these companies divest from our people, back down on promises they made to our people, fire our people, divest from our people, disengage from our people. No, none of them said anything. None of them was upset the way that they upset with Candace. None of them said, damn, I feel betrayed. None of them said, you let me down. They was quiet, radio silence. Let me remind you guys of who these Beckys and these goddamn Stans are.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility. I take responsibility for every unchecked moment.
For every time it was easier to ignore than to call it out for what it was.
Every not so funny joke. Every unfair stereotype.
Every blatant injustice, no matter how big or small.
Every time I remained silent.
Every time I explained away police brutality. Or turned a blind eye.
I take responsibility. Black people are being slaughtered in the streets, killed in their own homes. These are our brothers and sisters, our friends, our family. We are done watching them die. We are no longer bystanders. We will not be idle. Enough is enough.
I will no longer allow an unchecked moment. I will no longer allow racist, hurtful words, jokes.
Shabbat shalom.
No, my nigga. You want to talk about bad acting? You want to talk about some horrible fucking acting? When you look back at that shit, that was a SNL skit. You goddamn weirdo. I just remind you, got to keep that in their face because they will put it in your face. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
How soon we forget? Y'all let these people play in your face. We don't need them, of course, but what we need to do is remind them to get the fuck out our face and get the fuck on and stop playing with us. Leave us the fuck alone. Checkmate, niggas. When are we gonna say that? Where's the nut grabbing at? That's what we need to do. We need to grab our nuts and say, get the fuck out of the world. Like, please. Y'all been, but no, we still playing dumb. We still playing nice. We still playing with these people and they keep playing with us. So once again, for those that are observing and just watching the hypocrisy, watching the craziness, watching the Lululemons, the Delulu-ness of this shit crazy. This shit crazy. And they have some goddamn caucasity. They can't even talk about somebody lying to them. They deserve to be lied to. They need to see what that shit feels like. They deserve to be let down. They deserve to be red herringed. They deserve to be taken astray. The fuck? That's all they've been doing. This is not new. This is a recursion. It repeats itself. We just act like it's new.
And this is the part, all right, and let's talk about it. It's recursive. So time doesn't repeat. It's humans that are repeatable and predictable.
They're programmable. They're predictable. It's not time. It's the humans.
It's the human, bro. Tom wants to change and do some other shit. We don't want to change and do no other shit. That's so someone said, where's the outrage? What outrage? For what? This is what they voted for. This is exactly what they all wanted. Dog.
There's no outrage.
They wanted a WWE show. They wanted The Apprentice as the president. And now here we are. And now we got it. Shabbat Shalom. It's a good day for them.
Exactly. They got exactly what they bargained for. You feel me?
And truth be told, I think this is a part of a long-term implosion plan. Like none of this is going to buy them any more favor on the global stage. Western civilization is kind of done. Like I need it. Like BRICS is stepping up to do real things. You see what I'm saying? The American propaganda against China ain't working no more. Like, what else is there to do except for this thing to crumble away, for them to localize power? Why you think they trying to go into Venezuela? They can't be the world police no more. They don't have it no more. They still have the infrastructure for it, but they don't have the support. They needed blind allegiance. They don't have that.
The people have the support that Hitch speaks of is the belief.
There you go.
They don't have the hearts and minds of their subjects. So where they went in Africa, people were not believing in the American myth like that. So they couldn't bargain with the people. They couldn't sell them the dream. They like, nah, we good on that. We focusing on us. We'd rather go to Russia than go to USA, my friend. Like we good. So they lost that. So they focusing on a region now, not a global domination, a regional domination. And it's literally in their backyard. They don't have to stretch themselves around the world. They're just gonna lock down America. They're gonna lock. That's why he came in and said, "Gulf of America." That is a declaration of war. And what we would call imperialism, what we would call colonialism, or better yet, what we would call manifest destiny. And when you speak on manifest destiny, there is an archetype that is manifest destiny, to whereas you could put this archetype somewhere and don't have to say manifest destiny, and when you see the archetype, it would immediately
speak to
manifest destiny without it being said. And that archetype is Columbia, right? The goddess Columbia. They have a movie theater, they have a movie studio named Columbia. If you were to look up Columbia, and if you were to look up the phenotype of Columbia, right? If you were to look up the quote unquote likeness of Columbia, she looks like AmEriKKan. So when they doing commercials, Pete Hegseth just did a commercial and said that AI is their manifest destiny. Then when Donald Trump had the inauguration, he said that we're in the golden era, and he invoked manifest destiny. So they invoked manifest destiny. Me and Blue came with the manifest destiny. They didn't have their archetype. With the rise, or with the entry, or with the ritualization of the they didn't politically ritualize her. They ritualized her secularly, occultic. Erica Kirk, aka AmEriKKan, as the grieving widow, right? As the grieving widow and whatnot, and it catapulted her to center stage. This is Columbia. That's their Columbia. Not to be more, not necessarily to be a presidential figure one day or a mayor and whatnot. No, more like Columbia, right? Because she's now the head of TPSU. TPSU could be seen as those crusaders or those settlers who would be a part of the manifest destiny with their wagons and their trail and their little trad moms and their families, the good little Christian church and the little Timmies and whatnot. And she's Columbia leading them into this new world, maybe South America, maybe Argentina, maybe the boys from Brazil, you know what I mean? Maybe that paradise that those pure blue bloods promised each other. You know, because Stephen Miller was the one who really set it off when he got up there at the memorial for Kirk, right? When they started the Kirkification, we call him Killer Miller. When Stephen Miller got up there and did a super duper 20-minute racist, damn near a third right rant, and he mentioned her, the quote unquote, he said she was a German queen or something. Like he was going in on, and I saw a video where a European lady who used to be a part of the occult white supremacist organizations, she was decoding his speech frame by frame based off of their language. They have double language, you know what I'm saying? So she's pausing it like, when he said that, this is what he really meant. So she decoded his entire 20-minute. It was the most dog whistled, quote unquote. He was signaling to all of his people around the world that was their war cry. So they used Charlie as a martyr, right? Not as a regular person. When they infuse martyrdom, then it's biblical. Then it becomes religiosity, right? Now it's a part of their quote unquote either their Messiah or their Antichrist narrative, but it is tied into eschatology, especially based off of the energy he possessed. Keep in mind, that week they sainted a boy in Italy who was 50 years old as the world's first digital saint. Same name, Carlos, which is Charles. He didn't have near the following as Charlie Kirk. And they made him a saint. And he died of natural causes, right? He had like a disease or something. The Vatican made him a saint. So imagine what they're going to make Charlie. He had a Christian movement around the globe. He died in the name of not your Christ, not the Christ, no, their Christ, the Zionistic, Judeo-Christian, Beelzebub type of Christ, Zeus type shit. You know what I'm talking about? Network, the Zeus network.
Straight up. And this is what I'm saying. They build in real gods, understand they figured out the process, and they are now conducting the process in the way that makes sense for them. We do magic different because we's a different set of peoples. You see what I'm saying? This is how they get it off. And all right, on a deeper level, if Erica really, 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 really is John Bonet, my nigga, isn't that the perfect way to wrap up a narrative? Isn't that you start with this lost girl, you know what I'm saying? And then boom, it ends with Erica Kirk. It turns out that's what happened to her. Now she's the leader of like you said, she's now the goddess Columbia, leading these people into a whole new promised land of white supremacy and manifesting that destiny. What a great, amazing arc for those who actually know what's going on.
Right, because she has to, when she starts to speak, she has to continue his rhetoric. She has to now stand on what he stood on. If she sways one bit, they start stoning her from the pulpit, right? She has to be, so she hasn't started talking. Once she gets into her Charlie bag and she's going to become your biggest op because he was your biggest op. So she has to continue that, right? It will, of course, be masked. She's a Scorpio. So she's going to put lipstick on a pig and they're going to try to gloss over it, right? But that's what you're dealing with right there. They ritualistically, remember, y'all, this is all that they deal with symbol literacy, but they also deal with hyperstition, and they also deal with the meme magic of this internet. They know how to siphon it. They know how to create. They know how to manifest. They know how to charge up, quote unquote, particles. They know how to charge up memes. They know how to run the shit the way that they designed it to run. They've mastered it. You've mastered it as well to a degree. But there's this is a battleground where this new level of magic is now a science.
There you go.
That's
there you
it.
go.
It's a simple way of saying it. It's not spookism. It's a science. It's algorithms. It's analytics. It's target marketing. Her mother at Charlie Kirk's funeral, she targeted everybody's phones there and basically tracked every single person who attended his memorial in Phoenix. That's how ill her mom's is.
Mm-hmm.
Because she works for one of the top technology. She owns one of the top technology and tracking companies out of Is It Real?
And here we go again. Shabbat shalom. We right back to the same conversation. What is the answer again? I don't know how to feel. Starting to see. She was always on that side. If it's
Right.
controlled opposition, then that means that the entire time you saw her, the only reason you even know her name out of the thousands of other creators that was talking the same bullshit, the only reason you know her name is because she was handpicked to do this job. This is what I'm saying. Agent provocateurs, agent saboteurs.
Remember,
all of this shit sounds confusing to niggas that don't understand the ops you're actually dealing with, bro. Like these niggas made the American dream as a psyop and then marketed it to niggas and then got the entire world to make America a superpower. Y'all need to understand what's happening here. Memes. The American dream is a meme, and now America Targaryen Eric Kirk is the leader, the face, the spokesperson of that motherfucking she the white offset. What the fuck is y'all talking about? She over here bringing her dead. She putting the body back together, nigga. What?
Right.
I don't know how to explain this to y'all any more clearly that this science is your science being played out in a new modern context. So don't say it's baby food if you can't outcompete them in the marketplace. You're just talking shit. So while y'all telling us, oh, why we talking about the crack? Why we talking? The crack is clearly doing this shit advanced, and you still under the spell. Maybe not you per se, but look at all the rest of these niggas out here that ain't.
Oh, nah, they spell casting. You know, they definitely spell casting.
They not going to the altar scared to ask for none. You over here begging Oshun for a little bit of attention. They're not scared to go to these temples and ask for bloodshed, war, control, predict. They going and they asking and they getting and they sending shit up to the sky, nigga. What you got? A little bit of incense and a little bit of incense and a timid personality. And you think you about to beat these boys that's Palantir in it? No, you need to understand your ops so that way you can remove yourself from this moralistic bullshit that you on. Shout outs to Panic. Shout outs to Bobby, who's the real ones telling you this whole time. You can't keep trying to play into these, I'm holier than thou type shit. They ready to get into the mud. So if you're not ready to hose some shit down, then you gonna get dirty too. So either you gonna get dirty or you gonna hose some shit down. That's just all I'm saying with this. Because what are we looking at? We're looking at real deal applications. They turned the mystic knowledge into hardcore infrastructure. The internet exists. It's cables running all across the ocean floor. They built that off our shit. This is your reparations right here. Right here, your ancestors' knowledge is sitting right here for you to use, maximize, and take over the world with stories. Not weapons, not guns, not none of that. Narratives. You can go take over the world with narratives the same way you started the world, with narratives.
Right, with the word. So where are the storytellers? Who is taking these stories and creating their comic strips where you could bend the narrative to your will, right? these are main characters. Like I've said before, the character Sage from the TV series The Boys, that was Candace Owens. At the
There we
end
go.
of the season, she revealed herself as a triple agent. So at the end of this season, this girl just revealed herself as a triple agent. The whole time she was working for the Kirkification of this quote unquote. I mean, like I don't look. There's so many possibilities of what could be going on, but what I do know is going on is that she was playing the triple agent card and she showed her hands. You feel me? And it is, I mean, it should be something that should surprise no one. This is quote unquote believe nothing that you see. This is all controlled opposition. This is propaganda 101, right? This is propaganda 101. So at the end of the day, um, one of the things that is going, like I said earlier, the thing that's disrupting this whole thing, the thing that they fear and the thing that they want to keep you distracted is your consciousness. You truly waking up, not necessarily to conspiracies, but you truly waking up as to who you are versus who
Who
you
they
are
are.
not.
There you
That's where
go.
it really matters, not necessarily as to a conspiracy or proving a
No,
conspiracy, because
no.
remember, you can make a conspiracy real. You can make a conspiracy twist and turn into be anything that you perceive it to be. It will appear real to you if you need it. If you
There
really put enough energy and passion, it will come
you
true
go.
for your ass. But what does that really mean?
In a world where now we're in a space where you could tell a lie and make it true, right? In a world where you can tell a lie and make it true on a global scale, what weapon do you have to preserve your fucking identity? What weapon do you have to preserve the ethnic image, the cultural image? You see what I'm saying? Because they've been manipulating narratives about melanated beings this entire time, but now they can manipulate the narratives to the point where they're trying to erase you from the story altogether. So what options do you have against that? What infrastructure do you have against that? I argue you return to your ancestors' work and you start memifying yourself the way your ancestors taught you to. You start getting back into your fractals, your mathematics, your science, because that's the only answer. What they're scared of is you waking up and getting back on that code, because then the engine that all of this shit is built on runs out of gas.
Right.
A
So
sovereign mind is not efficient fuel for this machine. I need you to understand that. A sovereign mind is not efficient fuel for this shit. They need slaves. That's why they
oh
built a chattel
yeah,
slavery on top of capitalism. That's the
right.
point.
Right. That they so need the people to be asleep. They need the cogs, they need the batteries, they need the slaves, they need Zeus network. They need the people distracted, fighting, eating bread and yeah, that's what they need. That's their
Yeah,
goals.
give them bread, wine, and circus, and they be
Right.
good.
That is the fucking goals. So it is. They winning on some fronts, but they're losing horribly on other fronts. They fear the people just simply waking up. It's simply just a simple wake up. So the wake up call is to activate the creators out there, the storytellers out there. The people who have narratives that in the griots, and those who
Yep.
have those voices where they could channel different characters and they have that type of voice. You also should come to the front. It is time. We need a lot of media
Thank you. Thank you.
propagandized. We need a flood of media, floods of it, subversive, objective. We have to change the past. We have to begin to affect this quote unquote holographic reality with content. But it can't be slop, which is also the word of the year. It can't be slop. We got to be the anti-slop movement. I have frameworks. I also have prompt packages to whereas you'll never have to worry about slop. If you follow the steps, you will have precise outputs. You could put. We're also going to be doing. We're in development right now. I don't want to talk too much about what exactly we're doing, but what I do know is that people they want a tool that's going to allow them to to create the most grandest ideas that they may have in their hard drive, the most delusional visions that they may have. They want to see it come to fruition and come to life. And we're building that bridge. You know what I'm saying? We are actually laying down the groundwork so you can walk through and walk over that bridge into a new reality. It is highly therapeutic for me to manifest things in real time, right? Using my mind. I don't know if anybody out there was waiting for reality where you can actually do these things, but I live on a timeline where anything, I'm talking about literally anything. I can wake up 4 a.m. with a profound idea, and by 4:30, that idea could be in the physical world with me touching it. I'm mindful of a time when that did not exist. So either I'm moving forward in time or backwards in time. But because it's centrifugal, it doesn't really matter. I let go of that. It don't even matter to me anymore. Just as long as I'm moving. So the technology is somewhat an indication as to where you are in time. Because if we had tape recorders and whatnot, and we only was able to listen to tapes and record players, then that would be an indicator as to what time you're in. If we were quote unquote in a time where we had none of these electronics and you just had string instruments, well, goddamn it, well, that's indicative of a time. You know, there's a time when only string instruments exist, but there's also a time where you could basically type out a song. Right, you're in a new age where you could think the song out. You could manifest a song from a thought.
It's that easy. We're in that era now, and the real ultimate skill of humanity is adaptability. Adapt to the time. Adapt to the time. Matter of fact, let's practice a little bit of Sankofa. Let's bring some of those ancient thoughts back into the modern day. Because what makes you think the ancestors wanted that shit to stay frozen back there? We're supposed to be building on those ideas and again, making them relevant to the time period that we're in, because the information they were giving us was archetypal, which means it's timeless in the first place.
Right, those 1600, those books from the age 16, from the years of 1600 to the 17 and the 18 ones, those very thick books from the 1800s. Why won't we translate those books right now into some of the most quote unquote state of the art SOTA, state of the art or cutting edge tools, solutions, right? Protocols and whatnot. This is literally what we're supposed to be doing. Translating. Remember, the European, they got their wealth, they got their quote unquote what they would call the age of enlightenment. They got their light. Their lights got turned on when they got access to the libraries of the Moors, and they were able to translate them. That's literally what the AI is doing. It's translating. The large language models will take you could upload a PDF inside of it and say, yo, break this shit down and make it a business plan. So it will deconstruct it and it will translate it into a business plan. It will translate it English and say, yo, turn this into Mandarin and whatnot, turn it into quote unquote Yiddish. It will translate it into that, right? So the same way that the European was able to go to, they built up Oxford University first as a school of translating these books. Then it turned into a university because people would come, read the books, study the books, and then that formed into what they know as the Ivy League university systems. And then we have these prestigious colleges these days. But those colleges started out with our writings and our books and our intellect. And by translating those books into their language and their lexicon, they was able to gain immeasurable wealth to the point where Harvard University's endowment fund is equivalent to 7 countries put together. 7 countries.
So a university has the funding of an entire nation on its own time. And again, I say to you, why are you not doing the same process and getting the same result? That all that wealth that's generated was for you in the first place. So go back and go get your technology. Go back and go find your systems. The primal ontological loop, you think I made that up? No, I just rediscovered it. It was always there.
Right.
From me compiling a bunch of data that I have been studying across a bunch of different fields, I was able to synthesize out this 4-step mechanism and then validate it in real time with real people. You see what I'm saying? So now the technology works. I have emails of niggas that's like, yo, what you did wasn't just branding. And I was like, good, because branding is just a shitty English word to describe what we've been doing for hundreds of thousands of years.
Right. They brand animals. We're hot rods. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, a word from our sponsors.
Yes.
We will be right back. All right. Let's go to the commercial.
Peace, family. Peace to you and yours. Brother Red Pill reporting live and direct. Yes, I have some very good news on Friday, December 19th, the day that the Third Eye Atlas is supposed to be in contact with us. We are going to be at Spin City headquarters, which is sovereign land over there at East Point, Atlanta. And we are going to be doing a winter solstice conference, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, featuring Bitcoin Bully, featuring Rosbin, featuring Ra Aku, Spin City, Brother Red Pill, you name it, and other special guests. Make sure you click on the QR code so you can find out more details. Seating is limited. This is going to be a closed door workshop. We get into it and whatnot. We going into 2026 bossed up. You know what I mean? So this is for all of the people who caught a W this year. Let's close out this quarter with the right mind state and whatnot. So masterminds come together, all right? I'm looking for my entrepreneurs and my movers and shakers. Salute. I see you. Digital nomads, tap in. See you on Friday. ATL.
Yes. I want to reiterate that this workshop we're focusing and we are marketing to entrepreneurs. We've actually started a campaign. We did a digital campaign online where we were focusing and targeting serial entrepreneurs, developers, programmers, day traders, Forex, Web3 developers, crypto enthusiasts, people of that nature. And we also are inviting our Patreons, and we're also inviting anybody that took a workshop with us this year. Use the information, and the information turned into wisdom because it started working for you. These are the people that we want to lock in with so we could give you some of these jewels and some of these gems as we move into 2026. We're going to get you prepared. We're going to get you right. We are going to fix you up. You know what I'm saying? Trust. And tomorrow we have a legendary show. We have 2 legends in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We want y'all to be there to see this in the flesh. All right. We have the masters of the universe, the ancestral intelligence. So keep in mind that although we have been speaking about artificial intelligence all year and giving the people the options of what artificial intelligence represents, right? We also have ancestral intelligence amongst us. Okay, we also have ancient intelligence amongst us. What Ra'aku does with the cosmophysics, there's no computer on this planet that can do that. What Rasbin does, nothing. They can do nothing. There's no computer, there's no system, there's no quote unquote LLM that can do what Rasbin does when he does his predictions every year. So we're gonna show and prove how the predictions that these two gods, these two master teachers have made over the year on this platform have come to pass, have come into fruition and whatnot. And we're going to show and prove that these two mighty master teachers deserve a lot more flowers than what this community and these networks give them. And that's no slight on anybody's behalf. It's just that, sometimes we have to put things into its proper perspective. So the demonstration that you're going to see tomorrow night, along with the demonstration that you're going to get on the solstice, I mainly booked them for the solstice because there's power in what they're going to be doing on Sunday on the solstice, and they're going to open up with their science and with their intellect. This is not artificial. This is ancestral. So we'll start Friday building with the AI and the artificial intelligence for my ancestral intelligence brothers and sisters in the network, and we're going to close it out with a grand ritual of ancestral intelligence, reaching out to the 3-eye atlas, reaching out, tapping into whatever energy is hitting the planet, aligning ourselves to whatever energy is hitting the planet, resonating with it, so we could transmute it and alchemize it and do what needs to be done. That's what we're doing, right? Shout out to Raku, shout out to Rasbin, shout out to Hit Sayu Aku, shout out to all of the Akus, my G. This is Aku, So that's what we got. The whole strong end. It don't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. The whole entire strong end is going down. It starts on Friday. We got the legends in the building. Like I said, we got Ra Aku, the Cosmo physician, pulling up, doing the magic and whatnot. The grand wizard and whatnot. Not Theodore, but the grand wizard, the big homie and whatnot. You feel me? He coming through. He's gonna also be doing readers and whatnot. Yeah, he's also gonna be doing his readings. He's gonna be doing. He'll have his whole room. He'll have merch with him. Yeah, the God is in the building. Let's come and show him love. It's only right. He doesn't even come out the house like that, but I got him to come out the house. So being that I got him to come out the house, I want the family to come through, show him some love. Even if you can't make it in the flesh, go ahead and scan that QR code in the corner of the screen, get your tickets and whatnot. We will see you in the building on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Spence City gonna be in the building. Slice is gonna be in the building. Red is gonna be in the building. Ross Ben is gonna be in the building. Ra Aku will be in the building, right? December the 21st, winter solstice strong in. This is when the wizards come out. This is when we get ready to go into the dungeons. This is when we get ready to go into our man caves. We have the directives. We got the information. We're going to get lost for about 3 months and then pop out with a W.
Big dubs. Big dubs.
Simple as that. We don't got to do New Year's resolutions. We got to do winter solstice rituals. And we don't do the New Year's like that. We don't do that fiscal New Year's. Our New Year starts with the winter solstice, and we pop out for the spring solstice, which is the new year. But the winter solstice up into the spring is hibernation work time. That's get low, make your movie, make your comic, make your graphic novel, make your blog, make your website, make your app, make your DApp, make your blockchain. You feel me? Make your tool and whatnot. Make your brand. Make your product, make your service, make your offering. That's what that period is for. So when you get the instructions these 3 days, you are going to be right. You are going to be ready. They would charge thousands for this. We are charging the most minimum fee because we want y'all to come and get this information by any means possible. We are making it very easy for it. Digital nomads get to nomad and pull up in the ATL, KTL in the ATL. And we're also having an end of the year celebration at the bookstore. I just locked that in. So look out for the advertising coming up for the New Year's celebration at the 488 Edgewood at the bookstore, okay, at the bookstore gallery. That is going to be a movie. It's going to be performances. It's going to be an event. Got to celebrate life, man. You know what I'm saying? Got to celebrate. I saw too many people losing it and leaving this realm and tapping out. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to put on, you know, I'm going to gather. It's work to do. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to tap out. We will be back. All right. We got more to talk about with these meme martyrs and whatnot. We just warming it up, just showing you some things. Real quick, a word from Ross Ben before we out, because he's gonna be at the art
Ben here to talk about annual event that kind of started here at One Art around, what was that, 2012, 2013 maybe?
Yeah.
Where we were studying, we were students of astrology then. And the brother Noble Ampu was in Philly. We were studying with him. Malika was studying astrology. I was studying astrology. And we got together one solstice. And we were just having fun, right? It's what they call forecasting, but I don't like that word. We were speculating, like looking at the chart for a particular year, what might happen that year. It was kind of surprisingly remarkable that some of the things we speculated on, it came to be, you know? We just having fun with it, you know? So we kept it going though, you know? So here we are in 2025. It's grown into kind of like a internet phenom, because I've been working with the pillars, red and blue pill, and kind of like having fun doing what we would do here in One Art. We do it online. And again, it kind of be remarkable. The things that what we say, speculate might happen, how they've been happening, you know? So here it is, we're on the edge of 2026. We got to keep the tradition going. So we're going to be here at One Art on the 20th, the day after AI Atlas is at its closest approach to Earth, right? And the day before the actual solstice, wow, the 21st. So we'll be here on that 20th, keeping the tradition going, having fun, you know, speculating about what 26 may hold for us, you know? So, yeah.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, peace, love, and light to the family. All right, y'all hit the QR code if you want to get your tickets. Y'all stay prayed up, stay blissed up, stay dangerous. We will see you mañana for the show. Pay us in crypto. All right, peace.
Pay us in crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped nose. Acting gay up in Cisco. Man, take the day off and play up at Ristos, causing chaos and play up Calypso. I pause in kitchens and caused addictions. I pause prescriptions and cause inflictions. Lil Bixby playing in stores in Brixton on the dark web. You gotta pause every doors, cause encryptions. Tesla engines, pause the pistons. I seen every floor I leave sore and listing. For that action, they sponsored the Bronson. They was hooked on that shit like Johnson and Johnson. That freeway, Ricky Ross, straight out of Compton, straight out of Bompton. Red on blue, violence in the land. The projection of the will, the perfection of the kill, the reflection of the pills. I'm a frontline soldier, I'm no doja. These crystals not from focus in crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist bump, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay off and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco. If you say what the heck sounds, every player gets lips now. Acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up for pistols, causing chaos and play a calypso. Hickory dickory down. Hit a lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot. Lick off a shot. Heavy in the pedal, we slip off a knot. Heavy in the ghetto, they crib walk a lot. Crib walk the crypto, lift off the stocks. Drips off the crystal and pots. Disco rods in the blocks on my chain from the crystal shop. In the light air, lift off the rock. Toe from the right chain on my block. White paint on my socks. White paint on my socks. Hickory dickory dock. Hit the lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot. Lick off a shot, we lick off a shot. Players in crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in discos. You niggas in fist smoke, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco. If you say what the heck sounds, every player gets lips now. Acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up for pistols, causing chaos and play a calypso.